Hello, Abnormal Investigations. It's good to see everybody. Sorry, it's a little bit of a delay. We have some technical issues getting onto the show tonight. Looks like we have a lot of warriors in the chat tonight. It's good to see all of our warriors. As always, I'm always happy to see my. Let me see here. We may not have no sound. Do we have sound? Can everybody hear me? Hopefully, the sound is working. But it's good to see all my warriors in chat tonight. As I said, you guys are awesome. We got a few announcements to make tonight before we kick off tonight's main show and what we're going to be talking about. Looks like we have some familiar faces in here tonight. We got Grace Amiton. We got Karen Palmer, Teresa Varney, Tyler 420, Nancy McDonald, Nancy, Randy Petticourt moderating, Tyler 420 moderating, Randy Petticourt moderating. Amy Tongue, could you email me tonight, please, if you don't mind? Send me a quick little email. We got Yvette in here. We got the Cluffingtons here tonight. Good to see you, Cluff. When we got Cluff in the house, guys, we know we got some trouble headed this way for sure. We got Michelle McGuire. I don't know what this computer's doing right now. I apologize. It's been doing crazy stuff all day. But Michelle McGuire, good to see you. I'm fighting allergies, guys, so sorry about that. Good to see you, Sharon. Glad you made it. Mr. Tyler, good to see you. We got Kaylee in the chat tonight. Kaylee's one of our little warriors that stepped up. There's Connor Johnson's in the house tonight. Good to see you, Connor. Figgy is in the house tonight. Good to see you, Figgy. Looks like we got a lot of our regulars here tonight, and it's good to see our regular core supporting warriors here tonight. There's Kaylee, the little war chief herself, in the chat right now. She's everybody give her a big hand. She's doing a good job on Wide Open Adventures, AI Seeking the Truth. Kaylee's really doing a lot on those two channels, trying to get Wide Open Adventures monetized for Hunter and AI Seeking the Truth. She's really enjoying also. So, Kaylee, you're doing an awesome job. We appreciate you here fighting for her little brother that she loves so much. Everybody, I tell you what, we have a good show planned for you guys tonight. I got a small video clip we're going to play for you guys tonight. It's going to be a fun one. What I'm going to do is before I bring everybody in, I got a little story for y'all tonight. I was told that whenever you hunt for Bigfoot, you have to have a strong smell to be able to lure him up. It's kind of like whenever you hunt a beaver, you use like this really putrid smell that people can't stand. They put it on a little stick or whatever, and then the beaver comes up to the trap. Well, I was thinking maybe we could get together and raise like $2,000, and maybe we could get Maddie to come down here and use her for bait, because I guarantee you she could gag a maggot on a gut wagon. So we're taking donations for that tonight, guys. If anybody would like to help out, I know we could definitely get something up there willing to roll on that. Dogs love to roll in shit. So I don't know, just a thought. But anyways, without further ado, I'm going to bring Randy Petticourt and Jesse C on tonight. All right. How are you all doing tonight? I figured everybody could use. I figured everybody could use a good laugh tonight. Good to see you, Randy.
Can you guys hear me clearly tonight?
Loud and clear.
5x5.
Copy that.
I knew Clough would love it. That was almost just for you, Clough. I know we needed that tonight, didn't we? What would be even funnier is me throwing Clough a wrench in the middle of this. I wonder what kind of trouble that would cause him. I mean, that would probably really get Clough in trouble, wouldn't it? Clough moderating for the abnormal group over there. Oh my God. Why would anybody want to do that? Why would anybody want to be a warrior over here? don't know. Michelle McGuire seemed to like it. And if Dana was in here, I'm sure Dana would really like it. I think Dana will show up. At least we're starting off the night right, guys. Look at all the people laughing. See, we all come over here to have a good time and to laugh and have fun. That's what it's all about. I'm having fun. I've had some good laughs today. I really have. If you guys don't mind, please hit the like button tonight. It helps so much if you'll hit that like button. Randy, I like your shirt, dude.
Thank you.
That's a cool looking shirt.
It's awfully cool, as hot as it is today. My goodness.
Oh my God! Did you all get the cool front yet? Has it hit you yet?
It's raining right now. We just had thunderstorms go for the show, and let me see what the temperature is. It's 87 out there now versus 101. Was it like 101 this afternoon? That's not the heat index. That's just the regular temperature. I didn't see what the heat index was. I'm sure it was up there ways.
I tell you what, I'll be glad when it drops below 600 degrees because I can't hardly handle this. This is almost just too much. I don't like the heat, guys. Not a big heat fan. The heat drives me crazy. Plus, it don't make me feel good either. I just don't feel good with a lot of heat. Indiana cooled off, Sharon says. Good. Sounds like the cool air is filtering down from the north, probably out of Canada. Is that right, guys? Is it coming down out of Canada?
I believe so.
I'm ready for that.
My lovely wife, Jamie, is in here with me tonight for her safety and for her comfort.
Hello, Jamie.
Awesome. Good to see you, Jamie. Glad you could make it in here. You would have missed out on everything.
She says hi back.
Yeah, I don't blame her. With what you got going on there, she probably is a lot safer.
You heard that when Travis was there. You heard that howl, didn't y'all? That wasn't no
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that your friend wasn't too happy with you that night.
Oh, you should have heard it after we got off the show. Oh my God, they were the first show out here.
They are not happy.
No, and they're. I think that's a juvenile coming up here, howling through my air conditioning window. I think they enjoy stuff. Because I about jumped out of my chair the first time that happened. Oh my God! I was sitting here and they did a soft howl. It was just a soft howl, not very loud. And I about just like my pet wolf Sheba used to do. They mimicked her exactly. I mean, It sounded just like her, but I wasn't expecting it. And then after I jumped about half-assed from my chair, I started hearing something laughing at me from outside my air conditioner. I could hear it giggling. It enjoyed scaring the hell out of me.
Well, I got a friend, Randy, that was a deputy at the time, and I took him down in the woods. He wanted to have his own encounter, so I took him. I took him to the woods. He was a skeptic at first, and we went down to the woods. I took him really deep down there too, and he found a weird-looking bone. It was stuck in the dirt, and he pulled it out, and he goes, "Oh my God, this is a femur, but this is way too big to be a human femur, but it looks human." He's like, I got a buddy that goes to a college where they could really look at this. So I'm going to take this bone home with me and I'm going to have it checked out. I said, dude, I wouldn't take it, but that's up to you. So, so he carries the bone all the way home. He lives about 2 blocks from us in town, but he lives over by a cornfield that attaches to the wildlife management area. He calls at about 3 o'clock in the morning, screaming and hollering for my dad to come over there. We go over there. He's sitting in the front room. Looks like he's ran about 20 miles, sweating like a dog, and he's got his 30-30 laying in his lap. Now, mind you, he lived in town. Something came up, ripped his air conditioner out of his bedroom wall. He could hear it growling. He started shooting holes through his house because he was scared. And whenever he went to the front porch where he had the bone, something had cut the screen and took the bone. So
That's their bones. They didn't want him to have it, evidently.
Yeah.
yeah, it's better to leave things where you find them, especially if it's a bone, because you know the old story of bloody bones. There might be something to it.
Question:
You never. Yeah.
what creature did that? Do we know? Was it a werewolf, Bigfoot, or something else?
He believes it was a Sasquatch. The handprints on the air conditioner were like human, except for my dad was a big guy. My dad was a real big guy. He wore a size 16 wedding ring. He was 6'6", if that tells you anything. And
Wow,
its
big
hand
guy.
dwarfed. Oh, its hand dwarfed my dad's hands. Whatever grabbed that air conditioner.
Don't be chewing on that. Come on, come and say hi.
Hey, Walter, good to see you.
Hey, Walter.
But yeah, there's Mr. Bohica.
Yeah, I had someone come up a couple of years ago, middle of the night around midnight, slap the air conditioner out of my window. It scared the hell out of me.
Oh yeah, especially whenever you're laying there asleep. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, Tyler. I actually had an uncle that played professional football. He played for the Chicago Bears.
Wow.
Yeah.
I used to, when Refrigerator Perry, remember him when he was playing for the Chicago, I think he was playing for the Chicago Bears a long time ago
Right.
in a galaxy far, far away. It's what it seems like, with the world has changed so much since then. Are you scared? What is it? Why are you screaming in my ear? What's going on? I got my cat. She's screaming in my face like she's scared of something. That's odd.
She's probably afraid of what's waiting outside to eat her.
Probably. I'm making sense of those things.
You know what the
That's
cats don't understand is when they live in an area full of cryptids, they may not be the ones that gets the owner. It might get the cat and the owner.
for skeptics who don't believe, I'm telling you, if you have a close encounter with a Bigfoot, Sasquatch, big werewolf, whatever kind of supernatural monsters are out there, it will literally change your life. Be careful
Oh
what
yeah,
you wish, because you might
for
just
sure.
get it. And if you're not ready to handle this shit, they can put you in a nut house. Literally, there's people
Yeah.
who've seen these things up close, end up going crazy. Be careful what you wish for.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And hello, Scared Silly. Good to see you. And if you're not crazy, they might put you in a nut house anyways if you talk too much and convince people that you are crazy.
They might even do that even if you catch video. They're still going to say, oh, that's not this, it's not that, that's like whatever it is. It's some guy in a suit.
Right. And some people, being nutty just runs in the family. I mean, you go visit a relative's in a nut home and he's hearing voices and you're sitting in the chair across from him and you're hearing voices also. There might be a problem.
Mhm.
Maybe those people figured something out. They figured something out and it drove them crazy. Whatever knowledge
Right.
that was shared with them. Be careful
Right.
on asking for knowledge, because the world is not what you think it is. We've been
Right.
lied to on just about everything. Wow. It's
Or you
amazing the
get
stuff.
some meth head that breaks in your house just to rob your refrigerator. I mean, you never know what's going to happen anymore. There's a lot of those out there. And, sometimes their own parents have to commit them because they're just nuts and they're uncontrollable. But, unfortunately, later on in life, they get free will and there you go, But
Yep.
that seems to be what happens. It's a sad reality. Hey guys, another announcement I got for you guys tonight is I've decided not this Sunday, but next Sunday I got a little surprise for you guys. A little surprise for you. I think I'm going
Ooh.
to go boots on the ground Sunday and Tuesday. Sounds like a fun
Hey,
time, don't it?
here's something for you. You know when you go catfishing, the best bait, like the bigger bait, I use the bigger fish that I catch. Like I like using live perch to catch big old channel cat and
Oh yeah,
flatheads. You want to get these things in closer. You want to use. You need to find something very stinky that you can apply on yourself to draw
right.
these things in closer to you. I heard cow's blood. If you soak yourself with cow's blood, that would work. But you might not like the results that you get from doing
No.
that.
Teresa Varney, thank you so much for that super sticker. God bless you. We appreciate that so very much. I have a question, not for you guys, because I try not to involve you unless you want to answer it. But what lie will they say next when Hunter comes home, guys? Because we are getting that close. Because things are happening. I know y'all want to know that I can't talk about, but watch the next few days, guys. Just keep watching. There's some things coming. And God is blessing me.
We just rebuke these demonic attacks off of you and your family to keep them from killing any more of your family. In Jesus'
Right.
name we pray. Amen. And God's word
Amen.
says, when two or more are gathered in my name, and you live righteously, and his words abide in you, anything that you agree on that's in line with his word, God will grant it, especially right now. When you pray, if it's in alignment with God's word, his answer and response is yes and amen.
Right.
Y'all need to know that. So pray, people. Pray.
Exactly.
God gives you, especially right now, in these times that we're in.
Amen.
And Butterfly Life, to answer your question, I think the reason at the Roosevelt times that they lied to us is because that is why they started opening the national parks. They wanted to, I think, try to study them, capture them, and
Feed them.
feed them. I mean, the fallen angels, I believe they were the first corruption of the DNA, but then I think, we got a hold of them after that. And then we continued the process through trying to make our own things. And, God only knows what was created. I mean, look at Bikini Island, right? SpongeBob SquarePants. A lot of people don't know that was a real nuclear testing island. And they set a nuclear bomb off under the ocean out there and moved all those people off their island and everything. And then they started having all kinds of creatures and animals and things in the water and everything that started, just morphing into different things they shouldn't have been from the radiation. So there's no telling what's out there.
Right.
I don't know. Maddie might have been out there that time. Maybe. I mean, I could buy that.
Have y'all seen any of these creatures they're pulling out of the sea? These new species?
No, I have not.
No, but I do know somebody that knows where one's at. He calls it Leviathan.
There was a guy who looked at the shark. It was like a 20 or 30-foot mako, and something bit off everything but the head. He reeled in this mako. All that was left was the head. Estimated whatever creature did it was 50 feet or better.
Time to get up.
Yeah. Deep suspicion right now. Some creatures coming around out there, and they're hungry. And when their food runs out, guess who they're going to start to eat next?
Yeah.
Another announcement I had real quick, guys, before we jump into what we're going to talk about tonight too, is also we have a members boots on the ground that is scheduled for the members only. I'll be doing that coming up. And don't forget, now on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, D.A. Roberts is live. So go over and show him some love. Go over and support him. Again, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Harold is also, OCST is on Wednesday night. So jump back and forth and support both of those channels. Really good channels. Yeah, DA is doing Mondays, guys. So I'm thinking I'm going to hit Tuesdays, Sundays, and Tuesdays, and probably Thursdays, and maybe Fridays if we have a guest. So between me and DA, we're going to pretty much try to lock the week up. Should be pretty fun. Hopefully, some more of our allies can jump in and start doing more videos. I seen where Blake Dusher's back. Done a good show the other night, guys. Go check him out. He was actually hanging from a tree. So don't miss that one. Go over and check that out. It was pretty interesting. And also, don't forget, tomorrow night, guys, all of us will be on OCST's channel co-hosting with a guest he has coming on. And also, I'm working on another special guest, guys. Can you believe it already? And we should be having them come on here pretty soon. After we get the OCST show done, I'll be talking to them, getting a date scheduled. So, no, I'm not going to release it until they come on, just to save that person a lot of trouble. But we will be having another big guest coming on, guys, and I think you're going to really, really enjoy it. So, yep, we got a lot of fun things planned. And as always, thank you for your support. We're growing really fast right now, and we couldn't do it without you guys, that's for sure. So, I guess before we start off tonight, yeah, let's go ahead and do this real quick. How many of y'all enjoyed the last Boots on the Ground?
I did.
Tyler, I would love to have you on, Tyler. What'd you think, Randy? Did you like the last Boots on the Ground?
Yeah, it was exciting and kept me on the edge of my seat, man. That was a lot of activity out there, man. Not to mention the EVPs are getting creepier. I don't know if you heard or listened to any of those EVPs, man, but some of them are pure evil.
Yeah, that's right, Clough. Yeah, I got that little bit of a clip that I want to show everybody to see if everybody remembers this. I know I'm not going to forget it, but it was pretty exciting. Whenever I don't know where Silver Bullet's at. Silver Bullet is being asked for. I think Silver Bullet's going to be here in a minute. Let me see here. There it goes. Should be playing here in just a second. Thought y'all might enjoy this. If you missed the last Boots on the Ground, guys, this is part of what you missed. Well, try again. It came up and then it went back off on its own. It says it should be playing, folks. I don't know what is going on. The computer tonight, like I said, it has really been giving me fits tonight.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Maybe. I don't know if that played or not. Did it play good for you guys? Or no?
It didn't really play on my end. I don't know if it worked for everybody else.
I don't know what it's done. It says it's playing. But my computer is also about half-ass froze too right now, so I don't know what's going on with it. It's like, I don't know, it's doing its own things. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's saying page is unresponsive.
Hmm.
It's not playing on your side either.
Carolyn says no, it's super slow motion.
Yeah. And it looks like it even removed itself now. And it did. Yeah, it's going to make... Anyways, guys, I'll try to play that for you here in just a little bit. I ended up hearing something in those bushes, and whenever I walked over to those bushes and was asking it what was going on and telling it to come out and everything, it decided to smash me in the face and hand with the stick. It actually cut the top of my wrist. Whatever it was, I don't think it intended to hurt me bad. I think it intended for it to hurt, but not bad. But it could have been a rock. It did throw a larger rock as I moved down, and that's whenever I decided to go ahead and back up. Now, what a lot of people didn't notice too is whenever that happened to me, people said, God, I'd be scared. Oh, I was scared. That's why whenever that happened, instead of staying in the woods, I went ahead and left the woods and went outside of the woods to the trail, to the open field. I do believe that they feel safer in the trees. I believe that they feel like they have cover in the trees, and they use that cover to their benefit to hide, ambush, or whatever else that they may try or want to do. But yeah, it smacked me pretty good. Yeah, just right, Amy. It did. It has some force behind it. It was a pretty good little smack. Randy, I know, was getting pretty excited, wasn't you, Randy? When I talked to you after the show, you and your wife were not liking how far I pushed it that night.
Yeah, we got a little bit concerned, especially you had. Did anybody see this creature with the yellow eyes glowing that was just like smiling at him? Did anybody see that?
I must have missed that.
But it was somewhere near the end. He was walking along. The screen goes black, and we can see a face with two big yellow eyes, and you see this smile.
No, I missed that. I'll have to look.
Another thing also that happened that I never noticed was Sunshine sent me an email today of another guy that has been investigating UFOs, and he has been getting flashed on his investigations. And whenever he goes back to try to retrieve the video of the flash is gone. So he took it to a computer analyst to try to find out why they're seeing the flash, but why it's not being retrieved on it. And what they're finding is the flash is happening faster than the video can capture it. It's faster than the frame of the video. So even though when they slow it down on a app that they have, they can pull the flash, but you can't see it on regular replay.
Did he happen to have anything to read radiation or any sensors on him at the time that the flash happened?
No, and unfortunately, I didn't have my my device on me either.
Maybe if you could, if he could have something to pick up something. I mean, there's got to be some kind of reading from that flash that we could pick up. You would think, right? A flash of light is energy. Therefore,
a lot of people in chat said they seen it also, so I wasn't crazy.
I saw it. I remember seeing it. Yeah. And then that's, yeah. When you go back, it's gone.
So I have no idea.
People are seeing things, and then when they go back on the video, it's not there. Are you serious? Are you making that shit up?
No, that's really happening. That's happened. I believe it happened to Jesse also.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why Jamie was literally screaming behind me. Literally, there was an area because you could see especially on my 50-inch monitor, these huge yellow eyes, and then something starts grinning, and it was like freaky looking. I mean, and our animals even responded to whatever that thing was, and we haven't been able to find it. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Right. Well, another thing that really bothered a lot of people also was the roll of lights that went through the woods. It looked almost like Starlink went through the woods, and that's why I was like, "Is that a spaceship?" I mean, that's the only thing I knew to compare it to. I was like, "That looks like something out of the movies." It was like a line of lights that was going through the trees, and then it just is gone.
Sorry, there's some lag here. Did you see those lights during that event when it happened?
You step out and show yourself.
Oh, I guess it's going to play the video.
It's really got a mind of its own.
It does.
I just heard a video playing.
Is it? I don't know what it's doing. I guess it's, I don't know. Well, I guess if it plays it. OCST says that he saw the flash also. So, yeah, I thought I was losing it. I thought I was going crazy.
Well, and then again, what's weird is you can hear, like I was saying, like the old time, how the flashes used to be on the old cameras where they would pop, and you could hear that pop of the flash. That's almost what it sounded like right before the flash of the light went through.
Could that be something?
Huh?
Could that be like a portal opening or closing? Could that be what that sound that you're hearing be? I wonder. My close encounter with the werewolf, when that thing was 3 feet from me, lit up with my headlamp, and this creature disappears before my eyes. And literally, I saw a portal open, and this creature steps through it and vanished 3 feet from me. And I can't unsee that. And there were stains on the other side of that portal, but I'm not going to talk about it here. This world is not what they told us. Okay, there's a lot of stuff out there that the general public have no clue.
Yep.
I think it very possibly could have been a portal. No doubt. At this point, seeing the lights that I've seen and just the things that's been happening down at this location are really different than what we have been witnessing.
Is there any way to check to see if there's any ley lines that run through that area? If you study the ancient world, a lot of their sites were set up on nexuses where ley lines met. I'm wondering if there's a ley line nexus near that area, or a ley line that passes through that area. A ley line is supernatural energy, and the people of old knew how to tap into that stuff and use it. There's rumors that they had actual stargates that could go to different worlds and different dimensions. They didn't use ships; they used stargates.
Right. Sorry, I was trying to.
I'm trying to give you if there's any way to look at. How would you check for a ley line? Anybody know if you can find a ley line on the world? How to detect them?
Yeah, I actually have a link to a ley line map to be able
to
detect them.
Is there any way we could overlay that to that area to see if anything lines up? I'm wondering, maybe that might explain the increased activity if there were. I'm reaching here, but I just have a theory.
Right.
Yeah, I think we did look at those at one point, and
you step out and show yourself. Hello.
Oh, is it gonna play now?
I know you're in there.
Is it working?
It's playing on my screen, kind of, sort of.
It ain't gonna play. I don't know. I guess our internet here is not good enough to play a video.
Is that a smoke? Is that smoke?
I'm not sure what was going on at that point. I heard something hiding in the bushes, and then all of a sudden, I just started calling out to it.
Step out and show yourself.
You can see it. I see a face in that.
I thought there was eye shine in that also, and I'm
Step out
seeing
and
eye
show
shine. I
yourself.
think maybe further back. That might have been what threw the stick.
Hello. I know you're in there.
Did you see that that red eye? It was a creature with red eyes, and every time you got it on camera, it would move out of the way, step behind a tree, or it would turn its head to where you couldn't see its eyes, or it would close its eyes.
Right.
Did anybody see that? And I kept seeing that same red eyes following you as you were leaving. Did anybody notice that?
You step out and show yourself.
At the very end, I did see the red eyes. I think I called them out too. You could see the red eyes. It wasn't far from me because I remember I walked over to where it was at. It was only probably 30, 40 yards from me. Yeah, it got pretty interesting for a minute. I was hoping that, I was going to be able to get back to the vehicle on a trail, but unfortunately where I was at, I'd went through all the woods and that was impossible. So knowing I was going to have to go back through the trail.
I heard an EVP on the last boots on the ground. It said, "Mike, if you don't leave, you're going to die." Plain as day.
Right.
Did you hear any of those EVPs?
No, I heard the growls.
I heard the growls, but man, some of those EVPs are getting wicked and pure evil. And we're not even looking for this crap, and you're picking it up.
Right. Hey, Gary, good to see you, man. It's been a while. Good to see you in here. Hey, Carolyn.
There's silver bullets in the house.
Silver bullets finally in the house. Kaylee still here? Is Kaylee in the house still? Karen Palmer, send me an email if you would, please, if you don't mind. See, I picked out 2 people tonight. Emmy Tongue and Karen Palmer. And they don't even know what I want.
Emmy said she emailed you a couple days ago.
Awesome. Okay, Emmy, I will get back with you.
He's running out of people to use for bait, so he's got to pick the lottery out there.
If your name's in green, you will automatically be placed into the lottery. Okay, so that reminds me to the last thing I was going to say before we talk about what we're going to talk about tonight. If you're a member, another thing I'm thinking about doing for the members, and it will be for all members, not just second-tier members. For the second-tier members, I got something to explain about that too, but I am going to make you all a Warriors battle axe, and you will be able to put that out beside your name if you're a member. Since we are the Abnormal Warriors, I'm going to make a battle axe that you all could put out beside your name. It will be accessible to you just as soon as I get it done and place it in there for you all to be able to use it. So we may do something for the second tier people. We may give them like a flaming bow with a flaming arrow or something. I don't know, something like that. But
or maybe, Mike, maybe you can make some camping videos and showing them what not to do when camping.
I'll tell you something not to do when camping. Don't get scary ghost stories from Mike right before you go to sleep when camping.
I imagine. That one night with the story, red-haired kid being used like a doll by that creature. Oh my God, dude! I didn't sleep that night after that one.
Was you waiting for something to stick a doll up to your window?
I had to black out the windows because anytime you looked out the window, you would see something staring back at you.
Right.
And they just look at you. It's like, how do they know when the hell you're going to look out the window? Exactly. When you're going to look out the window, they make an appearance. How do they know that?
The native belief was if you heard something outside is you don't look out the window. That was one of their beliefs, is you don't look out the window. So
unfortunately, those stories weren't shared with me growing up.
And you don't want to look out your window and see a little red-headed baby doll head looking in at you.
especially upside down. Really scared the hell out of me.
And then you realize that it's not a baby doll. It's not a baby doll.
That's when I start shooting holes in the damn roof, trying to shoot whatever's doing that. Did you
Right?
Yeah, the deputy tried that.
Didn't you have like it was like ex-military or ex-police officer or a police officer go with you, skeptic, and they like pooped their pants?
Well, this guy was a ex-Marine and was a deputy. And when we got there, I thought we was going to have to change his coveralls for him. I mean, the dude was having a fit. His whole house smelled like sulfur, and it wasn't from a demon. It was from gunpowder being fired in the house. So,
if you're not prepared when one of these things gets close to you, you're going to do one or two things. That flight or fight. You're going to flight or fight. You're going to stand your ground and try to fight whatever the hell it is, or you're going to flee like a little chicken.
right.
I did that. I knew I couldn't outrun the thing, and I knew I couldn't fight it. In melee combat and win with having 17-inch claws, you're not going to win that fight.
No, that's like fighting a pack of gorillas with switchblades.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to end well.
No.
I try not to piss them off, man. That's why I don't shoot at them.
Yeah. Well, I think I've been pretty restrained here lately. I haven't fired a shot yet.
I hear there's some trees, though, that might be suffering from some problems with, like, I don't know, some holes in it.
Yeah, it looks like somebody down there might have fired at something, though. I'm not sure. I'm not a I'm not a forensics expert, but it appeared that way. All I know is that I wouldn't have wanted to been somebody down there fofoing away and finding out what was going on.
Hey Jesse, on your last camping trip, did anything happen? Did you encounter anything? I haven't got to watch that video yet.
No. I think the worst part was the coyotes that started going crazy right after I got back to camp.
You need to go with Mike. I kid you not. That'd be fun as hell. It'd be a lot. It's probably, I guarantee you, if she went with you, you'd have twice the amount of activity. I mean, it's crazy active right now. And if you were to take a female with you, I guarantee you, it's going to get nuts.
Yeah, my mom's
That'd be
uncle,
fun as hell.
the one that we blame, he always told us when we was kids, he was like, if y'all really want to get down there and have, something happen or an encounter, you have as many females as you do males and you will have an encounter. And that's what he used to always say, is because, the females would bring up whatever it was. So Gary says, let her carry the bacon sandwiches.
Yeah, no, let the females carry the food. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be interested in the basket, though, to tell you the truth. They're a lot smarter than that.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong either, because I put a thing out on the page. I was like, anybody that lives in Northeast Oklahoma that is interested in going out with me on the boots on the ground, just send me an email and we'll talk, And it's going to sound like I'm looking for bait, but I said preferably, a female, to see what would happen. And, I didn't get one email, Randy, not one. So
I wonder why.
I guess the next, I guess the next step is like the hardware store and like rope and duct tape. I'm not sure.
You got Sarah for a little bit, and she had her negative encounters, and then she stepped aside, and I don't blame her for that. Then there was Kaylee, she had her creatures, and I don't blame Kaylee for not going with you at night. Those things are scary.
But we got to give props to Kaylee, though. She did come back doing the daylight stuff, so she's facing her fears, Yeah.
Kudos for her. That's brave to go back out after that. Even in the daytime, I've seen these werewolves in the daytime. Right. I think it's easier to bump them in the daytime because you're not expecting it. The first
Right.
time I encountered these cow-sized wolves or horse-sized wolves, they were taking with my damn horse.
Right.
I mean,
Email me, Sherry. Email me. Yeah, I mean,
I've never heard of wolves sleeping with horses, but yet I've seen it more times than I can count.
that sounds. Oh man, that's a good sound on there, Randy. It sounds like that Silence of the Lambs, sleeping with horses. Yeah,
There
that
you
would.
go, Randy. There's the title to your book, Sleeping with Horses.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, whenever I say off the trails, I definitely mean off the trails because on both of my ankles right now I have poison sumac. So yeah, we paid the price on the last one by treachering through all that shit or stuff. But yeah, it was it was pretty nasty through there. There's another trail. I don't know if y'all noticed it. I think I'm going to go down it here pretty soon. There's a trail, Randy, up by that well. Did y'all notice the trail up by the well? There's a trail that actually cuts off, and it looks like a doorway. And that thing goes as far as my light would shine. So I'm thinking maybe go down that. Now, I will admit, walking up to that well and looking down that well at night, that, I had to force my body to do that a little bit. It wasn't something that my body just wanted to do. So I was wondering, if I look down this well, am I going to see something? Because that day we threw that rock down the well, there was 2 splashes. I don't know why, unless there was something trapped in there, a fish or something,
I heard something sounded like it was screaming after you did that. I don't know if that was like the sound of the water splashing up and down on the sidewalls that made that sound, but that was an eerie sound after you threw that rock down.
I don't think it was an echo. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people said they heard an EVP.
Mm-hmm. Well, you even said you heard something.
Yeah, Kaylee was hearing all kinds of stuff too. I think Kaylee was trying not to draw attention to it because she really doesn't like to hear that stuff. But there was a few times when we were walking, Kaylee would say, "Do you hear that?" It's like mumbling. She was hearing like mumbling. It's like it's so close you can almost understand it, and you're trying to understand it, and you can't understand it. And I don't know if we can't understand it because it's not English, or it's close to English, or if they're maybe, like what Ron Moorhead said, and it makes a lot of sense. It was proven in the sounds that they captured that they do have their own language by the way that they use the roof of their mouth with their tongue and everything. So if that's true, what if they do use things like vowels and stuff like we do? That would sound like a language to us, but we would not be able to understand it. Mm-hmm. But we also know that they can also speak. I've heard them speak. So there's no telling how many. I mean, if they are descendants of the fallen angels, they probably speak all languages, the old and the new.
They've been watching us, so they would know all of the languages, yeah.
And they can probably speak in sounds that our ears can't hear.
Mm-hmm.
Right. For instance, I just got a story that I'm putting out. Everybody's going to get it, and it's coming out on AI Seeking the Truth, so if you're not subscribed over there, you'll miss it. A lady sent me a story in the other day, and I'm not going to run the whole thing, but she had the Hat Man from when she was a child following her. Mm-hmm. Every time somebody would cross her, it would kill them. They would die from something. Every time somebody would do something mean to her. It ended up killing her mother and 2 other people. And she sent me the full story. You'll be able to catch that on AI Seeking the Truth.
When tonight?
No, it comes out. I'm not sure. I believe it's the 23rd, but I'm not sure. It's a picture of a lady underwater because her mom went into a rage before it killed her mom, and her mom said, "I should have drowned you in a bathtub when I had the chance."
Oh my gosh!
And so, yeah.
Were these people demon possessed, I wonder?
There was some real. I mean, whenever you hear how the mother died and how the two other people died, oh my God, it's terrible. Orphan says it. Good story. I mean, it's terrible what happened, and she wants to get rid of it. Did it come out today, guys? Maybe
It
not.
murdered
Maybe
my
not.
mom. It murdered my mom and 2 other people. Make
Yeah,
it leave. Is that it?
that's
It came
it.
out 2 hours. I'm gonna
Okay.
put a link by the chat. If you
Yeah,
guys want to find.
that's one you're not going to forget when you listen to it. I know Randy's going to have something to say when he watches it because, yeah, it
I'll let
was.
my wife me.
It was terrible what had happened. So what we're going to talk about, guys, we'll go ahead and jump into this tonight, is we're going to talk about a guy that went missing in British Columbia. His name was Salman was his name, and Raymond Salman. And the reason I wanted to talk about him is because it kind of answers the questions, I think, or yeah, you're right, Romans. It was probably more possessive and jealous, no love. You're right. I would agree with Romans right here, guys. I think she nailed it right there. Very good theory, Romans. A chilling disappearance in the forest of British Columbia has left many wondering if something more sinister than a simple missing persons case occurred. A video posted on YouTube channel titled "A Missing Camper or a Bigfoot Attack." The chilling disappearance of Raymond Salman details the strange and unexplained events surrounding the disappearance of a 65-year-old Raymond Salman. So, Raymond, again, was a seasoned camper and a hiker. He set out for a peaceful camping trip at Harrison Lake, expecting solitude, fishing, and hiking. However, he soon realized that something else was out there, something massive and lurking just beyond the trees. Now, how many of these reports do we get to where people go missing, and what's the first thing campers say? There was something in the tree line watching us, or there was sounds from the tree line. Or do you think those sounds are meant to scare the camper away as a warning, or do you think those sounds are just maybe them communicating to the others that, hey, we got some people here, and rally the troops?
Both. They probably know that it's causing concern, and yeah, whoever's out there is concerned about it. Otherwise, it'd be quieter, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I don't think they would want you to know they was. I think it's a warning, because I would think that they wouldn't want you to know they was there if they was planning on eating you.
Right.
Kind of like when we hunt a deer, we try to be quiet and sneak up on it. So maybe it's them saying, you know what, kind of like and I'm just using this as a reference. I'm not saying that I would do this, but it's kind of like the old farmer down the road that says, get that dog out of my trash, and he goes outside and yells at the dog, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. He's warning it to leave. The dog don't leave, and then boom, he takes care of it. I think it's a warning before the actual getting rid of you part happens. Yeah, Bohica, I agree. Bohica says, the element of surprise. And I believe that they, being opportunists like they are, they do love the surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you see something that looks, a face that only a mother could love. I mean, we don't know. I mean, you could ask Maddie, but I mean, something like that has to be angry all the time. And it has to, lash out at people because it's not happy with itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it just takes its aggression out on eating or taking a shot in the stomach, losing weight. I don't know. But I mean, these things, I think from the get-go, once they see you, they have a plan. Like it says, according to the video, this guy had his dogs with him. His dogs are energetic and they're eager to explore, right? But he says his dogs, now these are hunting dogs, they began growling at the tree line, and they began trying to hide under the tent and trying to get in the tent. These dogs, he said, were in huge distress. They were afraid. Now, here's the sad thing. Salman diverged a huge deep whenever he went missing, guys, from his tent. They found huge, deep, human-like feet print that led off into the woods, and this gentleman was gone. The zipper on his tent was not unzipped. It was shredded apart, like something had grabbed the top of the zipper and just ripped the zipper apart and entered the tent. He was missing with large footprints headed into the to the wood line. It was very muddy in the area, and they did not find one footprint of his. The footprint, they said, doubled the size of a grizzly bear and the depth of the imprint that it left. They believe that whatever happened to Mr. Salman happened to him in his sleep. The dogs were pulled away from the tent and were tied to a tree limb out of a tree with just enough room for their four legs to touch the ground. So if they would have tried to rest or lay down, they would have been hung.
Wow. Wow.
Any thoughts on that, Randy?
Got 8. Or he asked around and found out.
Yeah.
I mean, did they find any? Did they ever find a body? Anything from?
Well, the next morning, when the RCMP arrived at Salman's campsite, they found his camper was abandoned, his truck was untouched, his 2 dogs were still there whimpering and had urinated and pooped on themselves. His gear was shredded throughout the campsite, all of his gear. And the only footprints they found again were the large footprints leading away from the camp straight into the tree line. As the search and rescue teams scoured the vast wilderness, they stumbled upon a scene that sent chills even down the rescuers. They found someone had deliberately arranged a bunch of flat rocks in a position of what looked like worship or a sacrifice may have took place. But there was no blood, no sign of a body, just that eerie natural display of the rocks. So, did they camp at the wrong spot where these creatures were maybe worshiping something or having their ceremonies? And
Now, where was this? The location that this took place again?
It was in British Columbia.
Park?
Yes.
Where was he camped?
The natural forest.
The critters have to eat. I mean, they get hungry occasionally. And like you said, they camped in the wrong spot. Maybe they got hungry and wanted a snack before bedtime.
Were these designated camping areas, or was this like a free area camps where they would go and basically just find?
It was a free area that had, it said, menacing and unmaintained trails. But that's where the naturalist campers would go. The people that were experienced, they would go in these areas and camp. It was more rugged.
Because what about the thought that other individuals had gone out there at one point and summoned these creatures to that area, and that's what those rocks were formed there for?
Well, one of the things that they found at the rocks I thought was really interesting is upon looking at the rocks, one of the rocks really caught one of the investigators' attention, enough so he paid money out of his own pocket to have a crane come out, a special crane, to lift the boulder to weigh it because the only rocks in the area that matched this rock were 6 miles away. When they weighed this rock that had been brought there, they said the other rocks were similar in size and smaller, but this one that they brought there that was placed in the middle of this diagram, whatever they had made, weighed 1,720 pounds.
Oh, so you're not talking like rocks. You're talking like
Boulder.
boulder rocks. Yeah, like
Big
Yeah.
boulder rock.
okay. Okay.
1,720 pounds.
Okay, a human didn't carry that there.
No. Well,
No.
and if you and now think about it. If you think about a lot of the other, like the standing stones that are found all over in different areas of the world and stuff too, they say the same thing, that those stones and a lot of those rocks aren't even the same rocks that are in that area. They're from miles and miles away that were carried into. I want to know what this formation looked like.
One theory I heard on how they move those big rocks was frequency. They have, with the right frequency, they can levitate those rocks and move them with a slight touch. I've seen it demonstrated. So maybe the people who put these up had ancient fallen angel technology, access to it, or knew how to use it.
Well, if it was Sasquatch doing it too, they could lift those with
Their regular strength.
Yeah, no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, because you take what? You take a weightlifter that deadlifts, 800 pounds, and that's over their body weight. So you take something that already weighs 2,000 pounds,
right?
That has the supernatural strength.
Right.
I mean, could you imagine looking out there, guys, and you see something walking, carrying a 1,700-pound boulder through the woods?
Those two creatures you caught on video could easily pick up that rock and toss it. No problem.
Yeah.
I mean, those things are supernaturally strong. And there was there was a story you told where the guy had a metal and brick building and something tore through the concrete and the wall and killed the horse inside the barn. You remember that story?
Right.
That's something that a werewolf that I've seen with those claws can do. You think you're safe inside your home and the door's locked? If these things want to get you, if you're not covered in the blood of Jesus, you can easily be a Scooby snack to these things if you piss them off. Or if you're in the wrong area at the wrong time.
Right.
Well, this guy was never found. One of the things they said they thought happened is he had drowned in the lake, was one of the things, because there was a lake nearby. But scuba divers, they used all kinds of sonar equipment, and the family even hired out a special group to search with sonar, and nothing was ever recovered. I still think that they're in a cave system. I think they're underground.
Jesse, what do you think that Sasquatch does with people when they take them off? What do you think?
Different stories. I could only
We're
speculate.
asking for your opinion here. It doesn't have to be facts. This is an opinion-based question, okay?
I don't know. I mean, I've heard everything from taking people to use them for breeding or eating or playthings for their infants, their juveniles, or just entertainment period. I mean, yeah, like, torturing an ant, like a cat plays with a mouse. Who knows?
I don't want to find it.
I wouldn't want to find out either. No.
I was asked here lately. I guess I'll go ahead and let it out of the bag right now. I was asked a couple of weeks ago by a actual police officer in an area around my area that if I would look at the Dennis Martin case and give my opinion on it, and to see if my opinion was the same as what had happened. I've been digging into the Dennis Martin case deep. They asked me to go deep, and they wanted my opinion. They said that they really valued my opinion. So I'm doing the best I can, and I've been digging into it, and I noticed something the other day about the Dennis Martin case that really caught my attention. I had a theory, and I know y'all probably heard me talk about this theory before. Other than the moon phase theory, I'm going to go ahead and own this one, I guess, Randy. Randy says if I think it, I should own it. So I've thought for a while that whenever people go, yeah, orphan, that is the huge understanding in the case is feral people, and that is on the official report until it gets to the end of the report, sir. And at the end of the report, they changed it all of a sudden to die to the elements, and it's really sad. But okay, so my theory is a lot of people say, I don't think all these things are mean because whenever they take children, sometimes we find the children alive. Sometimes they feed the children. They keep the children warm. They're taking care of the children. So they can't all be mean, right? That's the general consensus on people that think that. But I have a different theory. The one I've always said is whenever we find these children alive or even deceased in areas that have already been searched, it only made sense to me that whatever took these children is leaving them there to stop the search, because they know that when humans find a body, the search is going to stop. These things we have to remember. If we believe what Scott Carpenter said and what Travis Carpenter is now still spreading, that these are from the fallen angels and they have that high intelligence, that they know how we react, how we respond, and what we do. So they know that if we find a body deceased or alive, that investigation is going to stop unless there's just obvious, chunks bitten out of somebody. And then the worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to blame it on a mountain lion or something, and they're going to go kill some innocent mountain lion and say, oh, took care of the problem. So you go and you look at Dennis Martin and you look at these other kids that are not found, right? So you start building a graph. That's what I was taught to do when you investigate. You build a graph and you start looking for things that are a pattern, okay? So you're looking for a pattern of behavior. In psychology, most humans, once you find out a pattern of them, they will continue down and to have that same pattern. Not exactly, but they will demonstrate certain traits that will not flow away from that pattern. So, and the children that are missing, the thing that I'm noticing right now is they all have something in common. So when a child goes missing in the cases to where we find the children and they're not unalived and they're still or still alive or unalive, either one, what I'm finding is they are taken from communities that have a lot of training in search and rescue. They have their search teams ready. They doesn't take long to get a search team together, and they're right on it. But then if you go back and you look at the other children that do go missing that are not found, these children are the ones where a big storm system hit that hampered the dogs, the search teams. They weren't able to search due to the weather. They would have to wait till the next morning or the next day. The helicopters can't fly in bad weather. So it was hampered. To me, the reason those children and even those adults aren't found in those situations is to whatever causes a delay in that search and rescue is giving whatever this is ample time to take that person and to hide them to where they're not going to be found. But whenever there's a fast response and a fast search, over 90%, we end up with a body either alive or unalived. And that's because I believe and I theorize that these creatures know that they have a time limit and they have a distance that they have to cover in order to be safe. And that cave opening that, theoretically that they might have took Dennis Martin to, it could have been so far away that with the rain and everything that hampered it, it had enough time to be able to clear that distance that it needed to where it did not have to worry about being found by search and rescue as far as the other people. That's my theory, is if you're going to have a missing person or your child goes missing, if you have anything that hampers that search and rescue, finding that person, I'm not going to say unalive because you may still find them unalive, but finding that person alive dramatically decreases. Anytime you have to pull back a search, anytime you can't fly a bird in the air and look for them, anything that happens like that, it only assists whatever it is, because these things, they don't stop because of the weather.
Right.
They live in it. This is their environment. We are the ones that are hampered by the weather. And I think it only contributes to them being successful at doing what they want to do to whoever they capture when the opportunity arises. That's just one of my theories that I'm working on right now.
Sounds good.
It makes sense too why the weather always seems to be one of the factors, because they know that if they take somebody right before the weather changes, it's less likely that they're going to have somebody come out there and looking for them.
I mean, it's just, that's a theory I'm working on. And whenever you take that theory and you place it with the reports, you know, it fits, you know. You always take a hypothesis and a theory and you always compare it to what you know is truth, and you see how it fits. And if it fits, then, you know, in my opinion, you have something that is at least something that we have to investigate further, that's I would say plausible.
Very. Yeah. I agree.
Was you wanting to add something, Randy?
No, we just got severe thunderstorms over us. I was getting weather warnings popping up on my phone.
Oh, yeah. But that's just one of the things I thought about is, you know, because right before a front doesn't necessarily change anything. I mean, you don't have to have a weather front to have a higher energy level in the sky. For instance, you can have a partly cloudy day where the clouds are moving fast over the land, and you can have an actual higher, you know, electricity than you can during an actual storm. And we have what we call here in Oklahoma, and I'm sure other places have it, we have what we call heat lightning. Lightning that just occurs without clouds or anything. It's just from what they call heat lightning. It's the electromagnetic energy in the sky which causes lightning. So I don't think the storm itself is what causes it, but I think that they're smart enough to know that dogs don't smell real good in the rain. Humans don't do real good in the woods in the rain and flash floods. Humans don't like the mud. But if you can move from tree to tree and you don't have to touch the ground.
Right.
To answer your all's question about Dennis Martin, I'll tell you all a little bit what the report said at the end. I'm not saying if I agree or disagree at this point because I haven't looked. I still have 37 more pages to go through. What I done is I did not pull the internet information. I pulled the actual police reports. That's what I started with. All the way down through the police reports. Feral people, feral people, feral people, feral people, feral person, abduction, 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 feral person. It's human, pretty much, all the way down. If it's not feral, it's human. That's where they tried to stay at. It goes feral, feral, feral. Then you get down to the bottom. Cause of death. They blame it on exposure to the elements because of the rain and everything. So what made it really sad is how they worded it. They said, he probably died hiding under a bush or somewhere, cold, afraid, and waiting for his dad or grandfather to find him. And animals took care of him from that point. That's the actual report. Now, I have 37 more pages to look at. of reports that didn't make it into the main report. And of course, I'll have that in my final report,
I have
I guess.
a question for you. How can they speculate that? Did they find the body?
Well, okay. So I did find a report. There was some people that were up in the mountains in the same general location that found bones that they believed to be his. Now, these were just people that were up there digging ginseng, okay? So they went down and never reported it to the authorities because they was afraid that they would be questioned and all blah, 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 blah was the story behind it. Now, it was turned in later, and they did send a SAR team up there and a recovery team with some cadaver dogs, and they didn't find anything. What they did find, however, was a dead dog that was in a ditch that had died, that was, almost rotted completely out. They said they could smell it. It was pretty bad. So I think they ended up speculating that it was a dog that they had seen and not the child. But, I'm not against even saying that they found the child, because if whatever had him, it done with him what it wanted to, there would be no reason for it to want to keep his bones. I mean, unless it ate the bones. And it almost seems like these things don't eat bones. Have you noticed that? Is that not weird? A lot of our animals, dogs and stuff like that, they'll eat the bone, right? For the marrow, however you say it. I say it marrow. Some people say marrow. And, but they don't eat the bones, Randy. Why are they not eating the bones? I have a theory, but why do you think? Randy's like, why do you do that?
I'm thinking. Give me a second.
I mean, I have a theory. Jesse, you too.
Maybe there's stuff in the bones that they don't need. Their bodies don't need the marrow to keep them healthy.
Right.
Or maybe it's not worth their time to suck the marrow out of the bone. Maybe they're content with everything else. That'd be my guess.
Right. Right. Good night, Cliff. Yeah, right, Boyka. So what I'm thinking is, here's another one of my theories, guys. You're getting a lot of my theories tonight. I wasn't even planning on talking about this till I release that report. One of my theories is, we're humans. We eat meat, and humans are known to be cannibalistic, and we don't eat the bones either. Our teeth and jaw power are not designed to eat bones. So, if these things we know have the human woman side, are the bones too much for it to break through and eat with its teeth? I mean, we can eat small bones, right? Because we know people eat, like, the cartilage off the chicken legs and stuff like that. But, I mean, some people eat the chicken leg. I've seen them do that. But, you get a rack of ribs, you're not going to sit there and eat the whole bone with the ribs, right? But you give it to maybe a werewolf would, Randy. Maybe a werewolf would be different because it does have that jaw structure, that teeth structure. It would eat the bones and all. To where these things are more on the side of the Homo sapien, right? That they don't eat the bone.
The Bigfoot, perhaps the reason why they don't eat the bones, because when you eat the bone, if it's not soft, there's a that can splinter and stick inside you. Or for them not to mess with the bones. I don't know. I'm reaching here.
No, it makes sense because Gary just said, they do find, elk horns, elk horns in the mountains. It's something, has busted them open, and they take the liver and the guts and everything, and they're extracting it. But again, they're extracting the marrow, but they're not eating the bone. That's really interesting.
I wondered several years ago, probably 15 years ago,
Storm.
Did y'all lose me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we lost you for a second.
Yeah. I stumbled across a field that was nothing but bones, leg bones, rib bones, but I never saw a skull of anything. They looked to be like deer bones mainly, but there were like hundreds of them. There were thousands of bones scattered throughout this area. They were mainly bleached white, but I found nothing that looked like a skull anywhere. I don't. Where are the heads going? What the hell are they doing with the head?
Right.
Now,
Are they keeping?
I do recall hearing an encounter of a woman who actually did experience these things eating a calf and eating the bones and all. She said it was a horrible experience because she could actually hear the crunching of the bones. So, but these were werewolves. These were the werewolf ones, or the wolves, dogmen, whatever you want to call them. They weren't Sasquatch.
God, Guns, and Ammo says, Mike, have you looked into the animal attacks in Coke County yet? I'm assuming you mean Corey Godsey. Is that the one you're talking about, or are you talking about the Aarons? Which ones was you talking about, God's, Guns, and Ammo?
Coke County, I think that was the 2 dog attacks. There were 2 of them on the same corner.
Yeah, all I'm going to say about that one is investigators have differences of opinions. You know,
I'm not saying anything.
You know, I spoke to a police officer when I called down there that told me that when they showed up, there was something attacking him. It could go either way. You know, we have, again, it just depends on what police officer you talk to. And I mean, God, it would be like, if I wanted to give you a definite answer on that, I would have to dig back into that and re-look at it. I now have a way where I can get a hold of the actual, not just the death certificate, but I can probably get a hold of the police reports and see exactly when the calls went out, what happened. Look at the injuries on the person. That would be an in-depth one. Hey, Andrew, good to see you. If y'all want me to look into the Coke County, put a 1. If you don't want me to, put a 2. If you believe it's better just to leave it lie and where we left it, or if y'all want me to look into it, put a 1, and I will dig into, I guess, Tony, and there was a female too, right? I can't remember her name right off. Tony, and what was her name? Anybody remember?
I think her name was Amber.
Tony Amber.
Hey, I have a theory for you. Throwing this at you. The difference between a werewolf and a dogman could be that the werewolf is like a direct descendant of the fallen angels, and the dogmen were humans transformed into those creatures through labs. Could that be the difference between the werewolf and the dogman? One was created in the lab, the other one is not.
Maybe.
Look at all the number 1s. I guess I got another investigation coming up. I look at it like this. This is how I look at it, Randy. And I may be wrong. Randy's putting me on the spot here. I'm going to give you another opinion.
I'm just figuring out. We're just trying to figure this stuff out. What better way than to talk about?
I enjoy this. I enjoy this. I enjoy getting my brain picked. I feel like I'm at work again. I like that. I believe the more that you're challenged, the smarter that you're going to be. What about this theory? What if a Sasquatch is nothing more than a werewolf or a dogman, just a different breed of the same creature?
That's a possibility. If you look at the realities, not all of them, but some from both families do feed on humans. Looking at the data, both werewolves and Bigfoot can feed on humans. But here's the thing: I can look at a werewolf, Bigfoot, and tell you he's not. So I don't trust any.
Right.
You're risking your life to these creatures. They have figured out if you get around them on a bad day, you may have to go home alive.
Oh yeah. You know, let's look at this theory, and I'll let you and Jesse bounce this one around. I'm just going to throw it to y'all as an open-ended question, and then I'll give you my opinion after y'all bounce it around. What do you think causes the werewolves / dogmen? I'm going to put them in the same category. I'm probably going to piss a lot of people off. And the reason I'm putting them in the same category is because Native Americans say that the reason one may have different legs than the other just may be on the amount of power that shapeshifter may have. Okay. So what if, I guess I should wait for him to get back. He just dropped out, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's getting a pretty bad storm right now. And you're right, Bohica. I believe that too. All Nephilim descendants. I totally agree that they come from the spider web. You know, it's funny that I was the first one to use the spider web, and then all of a sudden I was compared to the spider. You remember that? I think that was funny. But it seems like everything I say or do, they mimic. You know, it's like maybe they're part Nephilim. Maybe that's why they're so jealous of me. I don't know. And they do everything that I do first.
There you go.
You know, and I could see them being an abomination. But okay, Randy, are you back with us? Maybe.
Hey, when my cell phone was still, but my computer still stayed connected to the internet from the AT air. It just worked. Amazing.
We're getting
I'm
you
still
in and
able to
out.
talk. Sorry, go ahead.
There you are. There you are. You're back now.
Go ahead.
Okay, so here's my thing. I want y'all to bounce around. So we know by studying, and I spoke to a lot of canine experts, dog handlers, and they were experts. Dogs do not like the taste of human. Canines do not like the taste of humans.
Mm-hmm.
So why does werewolves and dogmen attack humans and eat us if they share that same taste? What is the crossover right there? What is the difference?
Well, who says that they're the same as dogs?
I'm just comparing the Googway type dogman canine looking creature werewolf as to being the corrupted DNA from the fallen angels, if that DNA is there.
I have a theory. Can y'all hear me clearly?
Mm-hmm.
5 by 5.
My theory, this leads back to like Genesis 3:15, seed war. It talks about the woman. Well, I can read the scripture that way. I'm not giving you misinformation.
I mean, just
it says, "I will make enemies of you and the woman, and your offspring and her descendants. He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise him on the heel." I think that's why these creatures kill humans, because it's an attack on God.
mm-hmm.
We're his children. Whether the 100% humankind on this earth was created by God. And these things kill humans when they can, as an insult. That's my opinion.
Right.
I'm done.
Yeah, you was a little bit in and out, but I think we got what you were saying.
Right.
Sunshine, yes. Oh, there he is. You're in and out just a little bit. You must be catching a pretty good storm right now.
Yeah, we have lightning storms. I'm in chat, but my cell phone, I can't help that. I can raise it up and see if I get a better.
Sunshine, yes. Some of the reports that I took, Whenever you look at the DNA of these so-called animal attacks, it does state in the official report, it'll say unknown canine DNA. Okay. Now, my argument about the unknown canine DNA has been, we know that in our databanks, we have every known canine in there. I mean, you get AKC registered dogs all the time, so they have to know what those blood types are. So an unknown canine attack tells me almost what Scott Carpenter was saying. You have something there, but it's not in the data bank. It's not something that we know. So it's unknown, and it's mixed with a canine DNA. So therefore, it shares that same DNA string with something else involved, which I believe was the fallen angel that corrupted all DNA. What if I was to throw this out there? What if I said maybe the reason that they consume us and the reason they eat us would be on the fallen angel's side, and it would be more of a attack against God because of the cannibalism and the taking of blood from his own creatures, us, that we have a chance at eternal life no matter how much we fail, and they don't. So therefore, they can't stand us. So maybe they're not just eating us out of hunger, but maybe they're eating us ritualistically that goes against God as a blasphemous act.
And do they get some kind of advantage or power from, like when the Satanics sacrifice something, they get something out of it? Do these creatures gain power when they kill a human? Do they gain in some kind of strength from the bloodletting?
I think there's something in our blood. I absolutely think that there's something in our blood that they get from.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
They crave our blood for some reason.
Well, and if you think about it, we know the word that we can't say here, and I know what you're getting at, is think about this, Randy, and that makes it more, kind of a, why would these creatures, if they are such a stealthy hunter, right, and say we're out in the woods and we're walking around and, doing something we probably shouldn't be doing, hunting them or mimicking their noises or wood knocks, or DA, even has a theory that they could be mouth pops and deer knocks, or wood knocks, either one, which I agree. I think they could do either one because they can mimic anything. So, I mean, if they can pop a tree and make a noise, then they can make it with their mouth, because I believe their vocal cords do come from, the light bearer that had the instruments placed inside of him. So I think when they get that blood, right, they got to scare you to get that chemical in the blood, the chemical that they so desire. So that's why they circle you. That's why they whistle. That's why they chase you. That's why they let you see them. That's why they smile at you. That's why they say hello, because they're trying to get you so amped up before they unalive you. If you're a deer hunter, and I'm sure a lot of you in chat are deer hunters, you know that when you go deer hunting, whenever you go and take your deer, that when you harvest it, that'll be the proper word I think to use. When you harvest your deer, if it's a fast boom down, and if you shoot one and it's a bad shot and it runs and runs and runs, as a hunter, I know the deer that ran is not going to taste near as good as the deer that I harvested that didn't even know I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Because the adrenaline, which is a synonym of the other word, is there in the one that ran. And the one that never knew what hit him, he's going to taste really good because he never released that adrenaline.
And the only hint I can give you is it like Google Chrome, your search provider or whatever, or search engine. That's about the only hint that I can give you.
Well,
Right.
They say the same thing about the slaughterhouses when they're slaughtering the cows and the pigs in the slaughterhouses, is that they try and make sure that they do it in a way that it doesn't scare the rest of the animals that are in line to be slaughtered, because they know that if they stress them out and they all start to freak out, then it's going to basically taint the meat all the way down the line.
Right.
So.
Yeah, because if that animal dumps adrenaline, it's going to go into the meat and it's going to be really strong.
Mm-hmm.
But that's maybe what these things want, is they want that adrenaline. They want that, that's what they need. And where do you find that mostly? You're going to find it in the muscle and in the organs. What are the main things these things eat whenever they catch something? The blood and the organs.
Yep.
And I've even heard people say, oh, I don't think they'll hurt me. They've been at my farm for 5 years, but yeah, but I was raised on a farm, and we had animals, and we took care of them. We kept them out of the rain. We kept them warm. We put out, heat lamps for them. We fed them. We took care of them. We caged them. We protected them from the coyotes, and the foxes and everything else, the possums and coons. But whenever it come time to eat, we also harvested them.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you go out and you feed your animals, you talk to your animals. Like, Randy talked to his cats. I talked to Polo. You're going to talk to them. So just because they're putting up with you doesn't mean that they're not fattening you out. You know what I mean? Not this, metaphorically speaking, but they're like, you know what? We got these humans right here. If it gets bad enough to where we can't find something to eat, well, Grandpa's looking pretty feeble, and he goes out there to that barn quite often by himself. I hope nothing ever happens to him, or he gets lost, or because I do believe that they're intelligent enough, but they know this by now, and they're like, Grandpa can, it may not be much meat on him, but hey, he's better than going down or eating a cattail, right?
Hey, Mike, can you do some research to find out how many people, which state? I've heard conflicting stories. I've heard on the number of people missing in all 50 states, Oklahoma ranks like number 5.
That's true. I have looked that up.
How many people on average in Oklahoma come up missing? Do you have a number on that on average?
I don't have a number, no. Not right offhand.
I mean, is there like millions of people throughout the 50 states coming up missing every year? I mean, that's a lot of people. They all can't be falling into holes in caves and mine shafts.
Right. Carolyn, Carolyn, I know they're looking for me, but the bad thing is they'll be able to find the ones that eat me because they'll all be diabetics because I'm nothing but sugar. So it won't be hard to find them. I'll be well cleaned out by the time they catch me and eat me.
So I have a question for you. What's the determinant on why somebody gets ate and why some people get ate and some don't? Do we have any data from all these encounters and over the years? Do we have anything that we can sum up here on that?
My opinion on that would only be an opinion, and it would be medication and disease.
So they seem to prey on like the disabled and the disabled people, whether it be mental or physical handicap.
I think that they're more open to them. They're easier for them to communicate with. They're probably not as afraid of them as what a normal thinking person would be because, autistic children, I had a child that was on the spectrum. They're very inquisitive, very, they are very smart, but they're also very curious, in nature. And
they can highly intelligent. Very high.
So I think that, my child is absolutely, he's brilliant. I mean, computers is his forte, and they can sense that, I think, in these children. And I think that they know that those children are closer. Now, as an adult that may have a handicap or something, I think they just see it as an easy prey, like a wolf goes out and he sees, something that's injured. Well, he would rather eat it than fight something that could possibly hurt him back, because in nature, if you get hurt, then you could die from a cut. You get infection, and animals know this, and so they're going to take the easiest opportunity. Like us, we go out there. It may not even bother you. You may go out 5,000 times, and you go out one time and you twist and break your leg and compound fracture it. You run 2 bones out the side of your leg, and you're laying down there in the middle of nowhere. The chances of you not coming back are up dramatically. And it doesn't have to be a cryptid. The other night on my walk with me and Kaylee, a pack of hogs ran through. They smell that blood. It's going to be a feeding frenzy, and they eat everything. So, I mean, there's a lot of, yeah. And, and you hope that they don't start at your legs.
Yeah, that would be a slow, man.
Oh, and you're laying there watching a pack of pigs fight over your leg beside you. I mean, that would be a horrible death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bohica. Yep, absolutely, Bohica. But yeah, Vicky, I think that too, and I do. I think it's because they're more inquisitive. They're more curious as to what it is, because they would be more apt to try to communicate with it and walk over and try to find out what it is. They would be more interested, to where I don't have a lot of patience.
Maybe it's easier for these creatures to lure handicapped people to them.
Right.
Because of their curiosity.
And somebody, that is, easier to persuade or deceive is an easy meal. I don't know. You might even look at a study on this, Randy. Might be worth looking at. I wonder if those kids have a higher level of adrenaline, so to say.
You might be onto something there.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So typically, kids that have anxiety,
do they have increased adrenaline in their bloodstream? Could that have something? I wonder, do these people with these handicaps, will they have a different adrenaline level than a normal average person?
I could see that. Yeah, for a
I would think so.
Yeah.
Because when you have anxiety is fear, and when you have fear, then you have the release of adrenaline.
And when you see one of these creatures, even not up close, but when you get a good look at how large and how muscular they are,
kind of like me,
it can scare them. Yeah, but still, those 2 Bigfoot you caught on that video, you were standing next to them, they would make you look small. You would feel like a grasshopper next to them. I mean, go stand in those trees. If there's any way you could measure, based on the video, and measure where the tops of their heads walk by on that tree to get an average height on them, if there's any way you could do that, go back out there to that spot based on that video and then measure how tall they actually are based on how tall their heads walk by that tree, if there's any way to do that.
Right. Jesse, I sent you a private message.
I promise you, if you stand next to them, you would not feel like you're that big Billy Badass, which, you're brave to go out there by yourself, but you don't want to get in melee combat with these things. You're not going to win.
No, no, you're not going to win. It's it's one of those things where I may not win this, but I'm going to take one of you with me kind of scenarios. That's the most you can hope for.
Aim for the eye. If they're that close, try to shoot them in the eye. Make sure you kill them. They don't have armor plating over their eye sockets.
Oh, it's gonna be a pucker moment for sure.
Almost definitely. But a fist-sized object at close range, you can hit that with your experience.
Oh yeah.
They don't have over their eyeballs.
I was telling Jesse the other day, with my handgun that I carry right now, a pie plate at 100 yards, 5 shots, I can put 3 and 4 in it.
That's pretty good. You ought to be able to hit a fist-sized object within, each of them.
It took me a long time to be able to do it, but I at 100 yards, I'm very proficient with my handgun.
Here's a thought for you. Imagine that creature that picked up that 1,700-pound rock, and he was to toss that thing at you. We wouldn't be here talking. I mean,
No.
they're able to pick up and that's something that these little sticks that they're throwing at you, they're doing this with love, even though it may cut you and bruise you. They could probably throw a larger rock at you than 1,700 pounds. And if that were to hit your legs, you're done.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to walk away from that. And then after they do something like that to you, then what are they going to do to you? Are they going to let you crawl back to your car? Probably not.
No, they're probably going to take you back to their to their cave, and they're going to give you a what was that movie where that lady hobbled that guy?
I know. He was a book writer. And he was in a car wreck, and this lady took him in, and she was a big fan, and every time he started getting Misery. And
that's probably what they're going to do.
With a sledgehammer.
They're going to take you to their cave, and they're going to hobble you for their little ones to practice on.
That'd be a horrible way to go.
Oh yeah, that's a cat and mouse game right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've watched my cats play with mine. I wouldn't want to be the mouse. That'd be a horrible way to go. Pop, pop, long ball. They're just knocking you in the air, playing with you.
Hey, I'm not going to lie.
You ever watch the orcas play with their food before they eat it? They'll slap it for a long time. They'll play a game with it. They'll be slapping it with their tails before they'll eat it. I guess they're softening it.
Yeah, the SeaWorld trainers thought they were training the orcas.
Oh my God! Did you see that one trainer that got killed by him? That was horrible video.
Yeah. When I go down to this place that we've been getting all this action at, sometimes it's hard to stay there. I can go further back than what we're going right now. We're going pretty good ways from the car now. I'm thinking about taking that trail and going back even further. And if they're in there, they got to have a home back there, right? There's got to be something back there while they're there all the time.
You need to wear a helmet and maybe some padding, some armor. Seriously, if you're going to do that, some safety equipment because you're going to get hit. These things don't want you back there, and they've already made that. You better get a helmet.
Wrist. I got a little bitty cut right there on my wrist over it. Cut my wrist.
If one of those rocks whacks you in the head, concussions are real.
Yeah,
you need something to protect your head besides that hat.
Maybe I can borrow Kaylee's helmet. It's pink though. It wouldn't hurt.
If you're going to go back there by yourself, I would advise. I mean, you're going to get. You take that into consideration.
I could get her pink helmet and super glue my GoPro on the front, one of the GoPro holders.
Yeah, that might take the rock. Yeah, that'd work. There's something now for a little padding,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think padding would have done me so good the other night because it hit me right here, hit me in the side of the lip right here, and it hit me in the top of the wrist. So
you're going to have to dodge that shit, man. Be like a ninja.
Well, I could have. If I would have seen it coming, I would have. That was the problem.
going around rock in the dark, dude.
I was gonna say, careful next time they are gonna throw another rock at you. That one seems to hit your dead on.
That one phone, didn't it? As you're talking, something hits your phone. They hit your.
Yeah.
That's a damn good shot.
Yeah. And it was pretty far away too. I mean, it was plumb over at that pile. Probably beyond that pile. I don't know, but if you go back and look when that happened, it may not be, but it looks to me like there's two eye shine beyond that pile.
Yeah, that you had multiple eye shines. You had multiple creatures. I even saw red, yellow eyes, and sometimes you would have a low set of eyes on one side, and over here there'd be another set of eyes higher than the one that. And you were surrounded by those damn things.
Yeah, it was not a nice feeling.
And if you push further back there, they're going to get more aggressive with you. And you don't need to go do that alone. You need somebody with you if you're going to push back there. You need somebody to watch your six. That's my advice. Because they're going to get more aggressive with you. And if you get a head injury, if they whack you in the head with the rock and you're by your damn self and you get disorientated from being a head injury, that could be a really bad situation. And these things like to throw shit at you, which you know. And you're going to push further back there, those rocks are going to get larger. They're just toying with you. You go pushing on their territory, they're going to defend themselves.
Right.
So you know that those rocks and stuff are going to get more, are going to increase, and probably they're going to get larger too, because they're probably going to get. They're warning you, they're playing, but eventually the play is going to end.
Right. You know, that's what Mom keeps telling me. Mom, you know, she says it a little different, but she says that I'm wearing out my welcome at that place. She thinks I need to give it a rest.
I would definitely pray about it and seek God's wisdom first. That's my advice to you.
Yeah, she thinks that too. She's like, you need to give that place a rest. She said, I think you're wearing out your welcome there. She said, you know, maybe go back to it later. Give them a chance to settle down too, but it's like I'm poking them every week now, same place. And
do you have locations you can go that are active?
Oh yeah, and we have, you know, we got fall just around the corner, so they may be in there trying to get food and stuff for the winter. And I'm going down there irritating them and pushing them around, and they're like, you know what, this guy will probably last us a week if he don't quit. He's got some meat on him.
They probably have young ones there too from some of those eye shines, because some of them were pretty low to the ground, and then others were much higher up off the ground. Whether they could have been squatting down, I don't know, but they don't want you going back there. They've made that very clear.
You know, Sharon says, I wonder how that stick got in the well. What I was wondering, guys, and you know, this might be crazy sounding, and it's kind of like really jumping down the rabbit hole. But what if that well, Randy, Jesse, what if that well, and the reason they're so thick around that well is they're catching fish, dropping them down that well, and they're catching them with them sticks and stuff to eat them when they want them, because that would be like a containment area to hold their fish.
Well, you're going to have to investigate the well. The camera down the well. See if there's fish in it.
Stick a pole down there. Drop a line.
Yeah, put a GoPro on a pole.
Yeah.
Or on a rope.
Yeah, Vicky, I did show down the well on a daylight one with Kaylee on AI, and that well is full of water and very deep. We dropped a rock down it, and it was like, it was real deep. So it is an active, still wet, very deep well.
If you want to make a video on what not to do when you're going solo, go down and climb down the well by yourself, that would be a really bad idea, Mike.
Right. Sharon, mom said to tell you, thank you very much. That well, you could lower meat down in a well, right? And that water is going to be cold.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you had some meat from something, you could lower it down in there tied to a stick. And when you got hungry, meat on a stick, right?
Lure Kelly down there on a rope and see what's in the well.
Yeah. Drop a magnet down there, right? One of those magnet fishing ropes and see what you can catch.
Or get a big hook and put a piece of meat and see if there's anything that takes it. Go fishing.
Yeah.
But would you really want to catch whatever's down that well?
Probably not.
You know, that might be their entrance in and out of there too. There could be a cave system down under that well water.
The earth is catacombs. It's like when the earth was created, it's got holes. If you're going to make it a ball of cheese, the earth has pockets, air pockets, and there's cave systems through the earth where you can go from one place to the earth to basically to the other side of the globe, all underground. But you have to be able to navigate the cave systems that's underground. But you can literally go from one continent to the next underground in cave systems.
I'm sure.
It's kind of. I've seen videos of it. They're leaking out about the real Earth, what the Earth looks like. It's not what they taught us in school. We were lied to about what the Earth looks like, how it works, what the inside looks like. It's not what we were told. Same thing with the sun. It don't work like they said it does.
You know, I keep thinking about, you know, and this is okay. So y'all know September 1st, for everybody in chat, I'm releasing the video to where I caught 2 Sasquatch in the woods. Very clear. And this is one of the areas that I've caught them in. I'm not going to release the area, but it is one of the areas that I frequent. My thing is, what happens whenever they decide to stop watching and they start coming at me? Like the other night, I was watching DA's show over on DA's show when he had some ladies on there, and they showed a video of the same eye shine that I've been getting, of it standing there, you know, with the eye shine blinking, right? And everybody was like, oh, wow, there it is. And I'm like, yeah, I got that too. So I sent it to DA, and DA's like, wow, can I use it? He's going to use that video clip on his next show. But what people don't understand is I actually have the body connected to those eyes that I'm going to release September 1st. And you can see the eye shine. They never stop watching me, guys. They watch me the whole time. But the way they're colored, they blend in so good. And, you know, I've heard a lot of people say, and Randy and Jesse saw the video so far, I noticed something in that video. Even with me having my high-powered light on I had on that night, did you notice how they soaked up the light, how they didn't stand out? It's like they absorbed that light.
Did you notice, if you look at the trees as they were walking by, how well they blended in with the surrounding environment that they were in?
Yeah.
Watching that, look at their fur. It doesn't look like normal fur. There's something weird going on because they're like blending in with the background trees. When they walk by, you see the silhouettes and outlines of them.
Right. Vicky, I got in my car and left. Nothing else happened. And I was laughing at what Bohica just said too.
You'll be having dinner with Jesus, pretty much, or breakfast.
Yeah. You know, that night, Vicky, I know the night that you're talking about. I left that night, Vicky. I got in my car because I heard something running up that drain ditch at me, and I got in my vehicle and left. It does look like somebody's been scared at the same place, though, because they put a lot of really tight holes through a tree. Whoever done that was a really good shot. I wouldn't want to mess with them. But somebody got pretty scared down there and put some rounds completely through a tree. It looks like they had like armor piercers in there or something. I'm not sure. But yeah.
Those tree huggers are going to be all upset.
Yeah, it looks like somebody murdered a hackberry. But yeah, I mean, it was. Yeah,
I thought the tree was a werewolf. Honestly, guys, it looked like a monster.
And whenever y'all, hey, I got a question for everybody in chat and a question for y'all. When I went with Kaylee the other day, to that last spot I went to, that very back bridge, did that not look like a bad, bad place?
Oh yeah, you ought to go there and go fishing. That'd be a good place, man.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe camp out there for the night too.
I am,
I
you know,
would love to go fishing there. I bet you there's some huge assets, especially off that bridge. I'm sure
Yeah.
you get out there in the middle of that bridge and you fish with some live bait, you get some monsters one way or the other. I bet you there's some monster fish in that. Is that a pond or a lake?
it's a creek that runs into the lake. Anytime you want to come down, dude, I'll fish with you during the day, and you're more than welcome to borrow my lanterns to see what you can catch down there at night.
I'd love to, man. But not in the heat.
Yeah, me neither.
The last time I went fishing out here, it was like 110 degrees in the daytime, and I waited about dark, and I had to use a sledgehammer to beat my rod holders in the ground. I mean, my God, the ground was like concrete. And it didn't cool off till about 4 in the morning. It was still like 98 degrees until like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Right.
It was crazy.
Hey, Romans has a question for you, Randy. She said, Randy, what color are the werewolves that you see? Are they all the same color? Just curious.
No, I don't think I've seen the same one twice, but maybe a few times. I've seen them. They're black fur, red fur. Some of them had white. They would be like white fur with. There would be dark fur in the center. The main body would be a darker color, like black, and then the outer layers would be like black, and then they would turn to like white. So I've seen white ones, red ones, and black fur colors. 3 different colors of fur, and another type that looks like, I don't know, but they have white, black, and gray fur.
Right.
And it's a camouflage. I have a cat that looks just like the fur on this thing. And I can't really give you a color, but she's not in here. But the one that's got the black stripes, she's got black stripes on her. That's what they look like. I'd have to chase her down, but she's hiding. Something scared the hell out of her, and she ran off.
No wonder all your cats around your house don't have gray hair.
He had one that was stuck in a tree for 3 days and 2 nights.
Oh my god!
And I had to get a ladder and climb up there and get him at the end of that. And that cat, to this day, never leaves my side. And he won't go outside.
Right.
You try to know what's out there.
You try to fit him outside, and he'll just go crazy. He don't.
Well, I haven't, and I haven't got any emails yet either, Randy, on any takers to go out with me in Northeast Oklahoma.
If I was closer, I'd go. I'd love to go.
Yeah, and everybody, don't forget to smash that like button. We appreciate that very, very much. So Saturday, Randy, this Saturday coming up, I believe it'd be the 23rd. Is that right? Kaylee and I will be going out for AI Seeking the Truth again. We're going to start at 6 o'clock. She wanted to go earlier because she wanted to stay out longer. So she's really tested me there, because I'll go out boots on the ground Sunday and then Tuesday after that too.
Maybe y'all go out in the daytime and then take her home, or let her sit in the car with a video camera and see what you record in your vehicle while you're out. That'd be cool as hell.
She won't even sit in the car down there, dude. She has no desire.
Oh, no. On your flashlight that you put on the outside of your vehicle, is there any way you could tape it to the inside of the vehicle? Maybe tape it to the window, whichever way you're going to walk, so nothing can mess with that light. Because if you get into an emergency and that light goes out, you could have a hard time finding your vehicle. Something with that.
Yeah.
You might try to put it on the dash if you can. If you can park towards the direction that you're going to be walking.
That might be a good idea.
So nothing can mess with it from the outside, because in an emergency, that could be the difference between life and death. You know exactly where that damn vehicle is at.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The vehicle holds a lot of crucial items for survival.
Yeah. The only thing pointing towards it going out, probably not a good idea.
I'm looking forward to going out. You know, I am excited about it going out. It'll be Sunday though. We'll go out Saturday with Kaylee, but the next nighttime it'll be Sunday. And guys, Kaylee really appreciates the support that y'all are giving her. She's really enjoying this. She's going to be taking this with her next time, guys. If I can show you real quick, it's my really nice camera that I bought, and it has all kinds of features on it. She probably knows it better than me. I gave almost $600 for this thing. And
Wow.
I'm going to let her use it to take photos down there. And not only are they going to have the rear view footage for the second tier people, but they're also going to get Kaylee's photographs that she takes down there. So,
has anybody seen on the rear camera footage yet? Anything yet?
Pam has caught some things that she sent to me that was really interesting. Not a whole lot. One thing she caught looked like now here's what's weird, guys. She caught what looks like a Bigfoot underneath the water, looking up through the water. Like, you know that bridge where it beats on the bridge? When I turned around and was talking, I had the rear view camera on and it shined right down in that water. You can see like a Bigfoot under the water looking up.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How long can they hold their breath?
Oh. Well, here's another one. What if they have gills?
We just can't see them because they're covered in fur.
Yeah. I mean, it would just look like an old plant or a bush at the bottom of the creek.
That's effing scary if these things water walking by that bridge and they're just reaching up and tapping on the railing. That's scary. That's scary stuff right there, buddy.
Makes you think twice before you stick your piggies in there, huh?
Oh, or imagine the way they hunt, They could just lay under that water as a bush and something comes up to drink and just come right out of the water like a gator and pull it in.
When I was a kid, I used to keep my feet in the water, sitting on the edge of the bank. There's no way in hell you could pay me to do that now, knowing what I know is in the water.
Well, we do believe that the sirens are, part of the same thing, and the sirens would, you think would have gills. So if these things have gills, could you only imagine if they had gills and they were able? I mean, they could come out of the water, grab you, pull you down under the water, take you in a cave system, and they're breathing and you can't breathe, and they're 10 times the strength of a big man. There's nothing you can do but just drown.
Could unalive you easily by drowning you and be pretty quiet. Nobody's going to hear you screaming under the water.
Right. And maybe that's why people don't hear anything. Next time we go, I'm going to have Kaylee go over and dip me some water out. I'll think of a reason.
Hey, can you go fill the canteen with me in the edge of the water for me, please?
Yeah, Kaylee, please go fill this canteen. Well, do y'all remember the bubbles that we saw off the bridge? Did y'all see that? There was bubbles coming up and it was going down the creek.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Could that have been them breathing underneath the water?
There was something down there. Might have been Kaylee.
That's scary as hell when you think about that.
Kaylee, you going to tell everybody bye in chat? We're getting ready to close it here in probably about 10 minutes. The chat. Run. Trying to get her to run. She won't run. I bet I could get her to run, though, if I took her down there tonight. I bet we could all watch her run.
On that last live when you had Kaylee, did anybody else in chat hear EVPs? I heard a few.
Yeah, people were hearing them. Yeah, definitely. And I think that the more Kaylee goes down there, and the more that because they're going to learn that she comes in the daylight in the evenings, that she don't come in the dark. And I wouldn't be
No.
surprised if we don't start getting some calls and stuff down there during the daylight. Wouldn't that be something?
Now, guys, I'm going to warn you. As the sun gets more active, the Earth's magnetic shield is fading and waning in areas. That is part of the veil, the Earth's magnetic field that has protected humans from seeing the supernatural. And as this barrier is going to drop all the way at some point, these creatures are going to get more aggressive and more active. You're going to see more increased activity because I guess they can for some reason.
Yep.
So just keep that in mind.
I'm hoping, and this may happen, we may get a daytime sighting if Kaylee keeps going down there. Could you imagine if we could get a daytime sighting like I got on the nighttime sighting?
I don't know. I don't really know if the audience can handle that.
I don't know if I could handle that.
The majority of people can, the average person who is skeptical about these creatures, be careful that you want to be careful when you wish to see these things, because if you're not of sound mind, these things, seeing them up close, literally drive you crazy and insane.
I told Jesse this story, and I'll tell you. When my granny had passed away, I had her house for a short time. I was going to live there, and I had a friend down there with me, and we were painting the bedroom. And when we was painting the bedroom, kind of to shorten it up a little bit, there was a window, and I was rolling the paint on, and I think he was taking a break, and I was like, "Hey, would you hand me that paintbrush?" And it was like those little sponge ones, it's got the point on them where you can go around the corners and stuff of the window. And I was filling that in, and I was like, could you hand me that? And he's like, yeah, and he hands it to me. And I was doing that, and he's like, well, let me do it. And I was like, okay, you do it. So I go over, and I'm like sitting on my butt, and he's doing it. The window's up because it was hot, and we was letting the fumes out, from the paint. And he's like sitting there, and he's doing it, and I'm sitting there, I can't remember what I was doing. I was doing something. I was messing around probably. And all of a sudden, I heard him say, thanks, man. And I looked over there and I said, what are you thanking me for? He's like, you took the paintbrush and you dipped it for me, right? I was like, no, dude, I ain't got up. Something took the paintbrush out of his hand, dipped it, and handed it back to him. Well,
what the hell?
so I ran over and I pulled the window down. It was them old time windows. I slammed the window down and turned the little lock at the top. It was like a little half moon. I spun it around, and when I did, this thing looked through the window. It had a long, floppy nose, kind of like an elephant does, but not exactly. But it was like a long nose that hung down, and it moved side to side. It had two big eyes that almost touched on a real narrow forehead and like frizzy hair, and it was looking in the window. We screamed and ran to the front. Huh?
What the hell was that? Was an elephant?
No. It was like a human head, kinda, but littler at the the forehead was shorter, big eyes, big honking nose. It was just swinging, and its mouth, you couldn't see a bottom jaw. All you could see was its top teeth. You couldn't see nothing on the bottom. Freaky looking.
Gives me the chills even thinking about it.
What the hell is that, man?
I don't know, but I promise you this. My buddy never came back down there. He would not help me finish. It had red hair. It also had red hair.
Lucky it didn't grab him and pull him through the damn window, man. And it was curious enough to dip the paper. It was just screwing with you guys.
Yeah, and its nose was swinging.
Like an elephant's nose? Are you kidding me?
No.
Seriously?
Yeah, scared the hell out of him. Yeah, scared me too. I ran over. I ran over and slammed the window down and locked it.
That scared the hell out of me too.
I had a at the time I had a pistol I'd bought. It was an old Ruger P90 45, and I had it down there with me. And I had my SKS I'd bought. I had it down there with me. That was the only two guns we had. And after we shut the window and locked it, we turned off the light and we ran to the front room. We had a blanket up on the doorway, of the room we was painting to try to keep the fumes in that room. We ran in the front room, and we ran in the front room. As soon as we got in the front room, at the front door, it goes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and guess what? Back then, we didn't have a cell phone, and the phone wasn't on at Granny's no more because she had passed away and everything was turned off except for the electric. I just turned the electric on. So we had no phone, no way to call for help, stuck in that house down there with all them creatures that have been coming around. And my buddy's sitting there going, he's doing what Josh does. He's sitting there rocking, and he's going, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. And was like, we can't go out there right now, dude. There ain't no way we're going out there. So we sat there for a little bit, and on the front door, you remember that old brown wood front doors made out of that real thin like wood, and nothing in the middle. They was pretty flimsy. You had the wood outside and the wood inside, and it was like hollow in the middle. It was one of those kind of front doors. And then we start hearing this. It's like something scratching on the door. And we're like, what the hell? And my buddy's like, don't let it in, don't let it in. And we're like pointing our guns at the door. And all of a sudden you hear it at the window. Granny had a big picture glass window in the front room. Big picture glass window. It starts doing this on the window. And we're like, don't look, don't look, don't look. And we're all like over hovered in the corner. And the next thing you know, it starts doing like those weird noises, those whoops, and it was whistling and doing all that. And we're scared. I'm not going to lie. I mean, we're scared to death. And I pulled my keys out of my pocket. I was driving my old 79 Ford truck then. All of a sudden, it goes to the back door, and you hear the doorknob just like, and then it starts going. That's whenever we said, run for the truck, because we knew it was at the back door. Man, we hauled ass down that sidewalk. We jumped in that truck, and we left the front door to the house open and everything until the next morning. We went back. I don't know what that thing was, but all I could picture was running off of that tall front porch Granny had, looking back and seeing that little 4-foot thing running at me with that red hair and that nose swinging. I'd unloaded my gun on it, no doubt.
Here's the thing. You really think that little bitty thin piece of glass and that wood door was really keeping them out?
No, because down at Granny's, they had it come in the house before. I told you about that, right? When it tickled my aunt's toes.
Mm-hmm.
And, they would hear like the beans, spill in the kitchen. And one day they were out at the barn milking the cows, and they looked up at the house, and the back door was open, and they could see it walking in the house. And by the time they got up to the house, they had that log bologna. It had took the end of the log bologna off, and it took some bread.
It was hungry. At least it didn't eat it. It was courteous, It just took some of this food. It didn't make its food,
Oh, we was down there one night. My little cousin was there. And this is before my granny had passed away. We were staying all night with her. And she was in the kitchen making us some snacks, to eat and stuff. She always made us snacks. I mean, she'd bake a cake at night, whatever, for us kids. She spoiled us. So she was in the kitchen, and we're sitting there, and we hear like at the front door. And the same old thing, And I looked at my little cousin, and he's like, oh, my God, because he hadn't stayed all night down there a lot. And me and my other cousin was like, yep, that's the monster. And he's sitting there. He's all scared. His eyes were like this big around. And we're sitting there. And at that window, that picture glass window, it goes. And we're just like, just ignore it. Just ignore it. Because Granny hung quilts up. We didn't have shades. That way they couldn't see our shadows in the house. Well, there was an air conditioner in the window to the right of the house that faced to the west. There was a big air conditioner. And at the top of the air conditioner, the window was still, there. Well, at that window, we heard it go. So he's like, whatever, that's one of the chickens or something. That ain't no monster. And he's only like 12 or 13. He's trying to be big and tough. He walks over and he pulls the curtain back. And whenever he does, it's looking right in the window at him. He ran backwards across the top of the table Grandma had a table in there, a coffee table. He went across the top of that table, landed on his back, done a flip, and ran to the kitchen bawling. But whatever looked in that window, I think was the same thing as the thing with the red hair, because it had big eyes. That's all we could see was the big eyes and like a real pink nose pressed up against the window. Scared him to death.
Wow. I can see that. That would scare the hell out of you.
Yeah.
It would. And then the biggest issue is you see something like that, and you go and tell somebody, and they're like, "Oh, it's just your overactive imagination.
Yeah.
Monsters aren't real.
Right.
They don't exist. They're just figments of your imagination."
It was good seeing you, Orphan. We appreciate you stopping by, man. Always good to see you.
Right, Peter.
This thing was so sadistic, Randy. So damn sadistic. The one night my little cousin I was telling you about that got scared, he was down there and his mom was there and we was all visiting. And we was, back then, I'm not now, but we was into comic books. I outgrew that. And while we were in there,
I read comic books a little bit when I was a kid. Not a
oh yeah,
whole lot.
we would read comic books and trade ball cards, with each other. Well,
Because we didn't have computers and cell phones back then.
Right. Yeah, that was our thing to do. So he's like, "Oh, I've got a Spider-Man comic book y'all need to see. You need to see. You need to see." And was like, "Well, go get it." And he's like, "It's out in the car." And we're like, "I thought you wasn't afraid." He's like, "I'm not." And we're like, "Then go get it." He's like, "I'm not scared to go get it. I just don't want to." And we're like kids, we're like, chicken. Yeah, chicken. And he's like, "Okay, I'll go get it." So he like walks down off the front porch to two big concrete steps. The front porch is like 4 foot off the ground and two big concrete steps. It's like 3 steps up. So he goes down. You can see him looking behind him. And he goes all the way out to the car in the circle drive where there's a big yard light out there. He opens the door, gets the comic book, shuts the door, starts coming up the sidewalk underneath the shade trees, where it's a little bit darker. And you got the fence over by the hog lot that's got the honeysuckle that's growing all in it where you can't see past that fence. Well, something says his name. I can't say his name because I don't have permission, but it said his name and like that voice, He takes off running.
Werewolf. Is this a Bigfoot or
probably a werewolf? It sounded like a werewolf, like the werewolf talk. That boy took flight. He took off running. He screamed like a girl. He got to that front porch, dude. He jumped from the bottom of the sidewalk and landed up inside that porch, lost his footing, and went head first into the couch. And whatever was out there that scared him, it goes, starts laughing. And it laughed hard and long. So whatever it was got a kick out of scaring him so bad. I mean, it laughed hard.
It sounds like what they do to you when you're out there at night.
It was funny.
Yeah, you tried the laughing and
yeah,
that one was really creepy. When your phone was down to 12%, and we start hearing, "Bye-bye, Mike."
Yeah.
Bye-bye. I mean, my God. And then on the last one, I heard, "Mike, if you stay any longer, you're going to die." I mean, plain as day.
Yeah.
"Mike, if you stay, you're going to die." I'm like, what the hell?
Right. Yeah, you're right, Dana. They thought it was funny because, I mean, that thing was just like, but like a dog. It sounded like a dog. And we were like, oh, my God. Yeah. And my cousin, he's like sitting there like, he jumped all the way to that top porch, dude, from the ground. I mean, he leaped. But, you could look out the windows at Granny's house. These things would crawl up in the trees and they would hide behind the trees and they would peek around the trees inside of our house. And then they would peek back. And Granny was sitting on the couch one night. And of course we had the windows up because we didn't have air conditioner. And she would always, look at me like I was sitting on the floor. I sat on the floor a lot in front of her. And she'd be looking at me and she'd say, "Now, don't you act like you're surprised or scared or anything. I'm going to get up and walk over there and shut that window because one of them's crawled up in that tree and he's been watching us for a little bit." And I'm just like, the hair stands up all over you. And I'm like, okay, Infinite, good to see you, man. Hope you make it back next time. Always good to see you. And I'm sitting there, right? And she walks over there and she acts calm, she's got her, it was a 32. I have it now. She had it in her pocket. And she always kept her hand in her pocket, on that pistol. She never pulled it out, but she could said, I can shoot through my pocket, So she goes walking over there and she takes her hands out of her pocket and grabs the window, starts to pull the window down. She gets it almost all the way down. And we hear Granny like struggling with the window. Like the window got kind of like cockeyed, how it could in the wood, and kind of hard to get it down. And she's like rattling it and really pulling. And we're like, man, Granny's like really panicking after telling us not to panic, right? And then we hear then we hear her yell, "Come over here and help me." It's trying to raise the window.
Oh.
Whatever was outside was fighting her, trying to raise the window while she was trying to shut it. And she finally got the window down, shut it, and then threw the stuff over it.
Now, it was just playing with your grandmother.
Oh, we cried. I mean, we cried like babies. I mean, we're like 11, 12 years old, scared the hell out of us.
And those things, they feed off of that. That gives them some kind of thrill or something.
Right.
They feed off fear.
Right. But can you imagine what was going through her mind, though? Because, back then, the only phone we had was her party line. And, you have to get, and it's one of those,
And it's like you're going to call the operator and tell him you got a werewolf outside the window and tell you, quit making prank calls.
Right, then they unplug you.
Right.
Yeah. You go to the police and tell them, and they're going to start laughing at you like, you're crazy. You belong in the nut house.
Well, imagine, she's sitting there fighting with whatever this is, trying to get in the window, and she knows that she's got, two of her grandkids there. And whatever it is, I mean, she's like really trying. And then as soon as she gets it down and shuts it, she runs in the front room. She's like, guys, it's a little more violent tonight than what I've seen it. And that scared us because Granny's usually not scared. And she's like, we need to go to the back door and shut the back door and lock it. Because we would leave the door open because it was hot, So she's like going to the back door. And next thing you know, the back door slams shut. It shut the door for her. We were just sitting there, just scared to death. I mean, we hated being there.
This was summertime, right?
Or winter. Yeah, it was hot, but yeah, they would be there year round.
Do you know? I wonder if the moon phase had anything to do with the activity why they were more aggressive that night with your granny.
Oh, man, I wish I would have been paying attention to that back then for sure. But I don't know. I was young. I didn't pay attention to that. It was just, it was just scary.
We could get some kind of date. So, if we could figure out the date tonight, which might be hard to do.
I remember the night that it took the chicken and beat the back door with the chicken because we were all in the house and we could hear the back door just going like boom, 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 boom. And we're like, oh my God, it's going to break the back door down, It had never done that before. We were scared. And it sounded like it was just beating that back door, like going to beat a hole in it. Next day, we went outside and Granny was like checking the back door, and make sure it wasn't broke or anything or busted holes in. And she's like, guys, come here and look, come here and look. And we ran around there with her. Whatever it was, it took a chicken by the legs and beat that back door with the chicken. There was feathers, guts, and blood all over that door.
It did that to scare y'all.
Did a good job. Because, I mean, it worked.
They're evil. They're wicked, and they're going to do stuff like this because they get some kind of thrill out of scaring y'all. They feed off of fear. Maybe they're trying to get that Google Chrome thing going.
Google Chrome.
Well, another thing, too, is I don't understand is they never bothered any of the animals except for that one night, and they cut that pig's head off and stuck it on the fence post. But that was the night after I had shot that thing in the cattails. So I don't know if that was a payback or,
Well, probably you're lucky they didn't break in and kill one of y'all in return.
Right.
I mean, look at that one story. That one guy shot randomly in the woods at something, and later on he died from that stupidity.
Right.
Well,
Learn from other
Granny,
people's mistakes. Don't shoot at
Granny,
something unless you know what the hell you're shooting at.
Granny was in the bathroom one night. The bathroom is at the back of the house by that back door I was telling you about. The bathroom had a little window, probably about like my calendar here. Probably. By the way, my best friend bought me this. It's a moon phase calendar. But it was trying to break in, I guess. But that window was little. It stuck its arm through the window while she was in the bathroom. She said its arm was the color of a possum skin, and she said it had like black hair, but it wasn't thick like fur. It was like hair, all over it, long hair. And it was knocking the soap and stuff off of the bathtub and stuff, trying to reach around in there and grab stuff. And she started screaming at it, and she grabbed the plunger, threw the plunger at it, and then ran out the door.
That's what a cow trunk in hand, wouldn't it? But that might piss it off.
It might, as big as them things are, it makes you wonder if they could just reach their hand in that window and hook the wall and just pull the wall out.
They could. No, if they can lift a 1,700-pound rock and run as fast as damn Blackhawk, a little wall isn't going to stop them. Neither is that little pane of glass. I mean, people think that little pane of glass protecting them or that door. No. These things want you. If they have legal, there's like L.A. Marzulli said, dealing with like the angels and demons. I'm sure there's rules and regulations that we're just not privy to, dealing with these werewolves and other creatures. I'm sure there's certain things that if a human crosses a certain line, then they can become perhaps. But out of all I would say I've had hundreds of encounters. I've never had any of these things throw anything at me nor growl at me. They've never shown any aggression towards me.
Next time you go outside, threaten to spank one and see what happens.
Oh, no. Look, one night I went to town and they were circling the house with my wife here alone, and they were howling at her. And I went back there with my sidearm thinking I was going to school them, and I got schooled.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah.
They were running by me faster than I could have reacted to get my pistol out of the holster. I mean,
but what
they were doing mock attack. They were doing mock lunge attacks at me. They would like pretend to charge at me and stop only inches from my face.
Right. And Karen, you're right. Granny was one of the bravest women I ever knew, besides my mom. Very strong women, and we felt safe. I mean, back then I didn't know a lot about guns. I was a kid. I thought all guns, were big and bad and tough. And she had a 32. 32, that's fine for a person, but for a larger animal, a 32 is not your best choice.
Especially for a big.
Right. And she carried that 32, and she carried a butcher. You remember the old butcher knife? It had the wooden handle on it that had the old curved blade. she carried that on her too, and she's like, if it comes in here, it'll wish it didn't. And me and my cousin, we believed everything that Granny told us, that we were safe, that Granny would protect us. You know what my grandpa used when he would go outside, when they would hear that stuff, which he wasn't home much. He was a logger, but when he was home, you know what they considered their rifle? It was a single shot 22. The one you put the bullet in, push it up, pull the little thing on the back. That's what he would go outside to check around with, because he said that 22 will take care of anything I need to take care of, because, he killed deer with it and everything else he wasn't to feed his family. And he said that 22 will do everything I need to do. And I mean, I wouldn't take a 22 out there single shot looking for it. But back then, those men, I don't think they were scared of a whole lot. I mean, yeah, they were, cautious, but they were just different people back then. I remember my uncle, he had a 30-06 and a 12 gauge, and we just thought that was awesome, was like, Uncle Bob's coming down, he'll be bringing his shotgun and his 30-06. And, it got bad down there. It did. It got really bad sometimes. I'm going to put a lot of it in my book that I'm going to be writing. That way everybody can understand kind of what we went through and what got me wondering, what these things are, because I lived with them, I didn't have a choice. Whenever you see something with a long floppy nose, big eyes, and red hair looking in the window,
What the hell? Yeah, a were-elephant or something? I mean, seriously.
I mean,
Or
it didn't look like.
Was it a wolf from the sea? I mean, what the
the
hell was that?
But the nose wasn't really like an elephant, though. It was fatter. It's like it was a. You know how
A
when you
wolf.
take those. Okay, you know those water balloons that you could buy, the long, skinny water balloons. Remember those? You fill them up with water. How you could bend them and they kind of hang down, and flop around. That's like what his nose looked like.
Like a walrus. Those sea creatures that have like the snout, kind of like an elephant, but they're not real long.
But
It looks
round.
something like.
But more round. Yep, and it flopped. It kind of flopped around. It swung. It would swing around.
Was that the nose?
Yeah, and underneath the nose, it had little bitty teeth, like human teeth, little bitty teeth, and no bottom jaw. There was no teeth on the bottom.
They were human shaped, like square and not pointy.
Yeah, human teeth. They were square.
What the hell was that?
No idea.
What would you classify that as? I mean, seriously, what category of natural monster would you label that in? Okay, it wouldn't fit under werewolf. It wouldn't fit under Bigfoot. What is that three-toed creature you're getting prints of?
One-eyed, one-horn. I don't know.
That looked like a damn. There's a Jurassic Park where they're showing the pictures of a raptor footprint, and if you were to take those two and look at them, there's similarities in that.
Well,
are you out there with a raptor? I mean, seriously, are you ready for a raptor encounter? Because I've heard of people having encounters in the United States. There are stories.
Whatever this thing is, it's got hands. Because whenever my his buddy was down, it jumped up, and remember I told you the back of the house didn't have no roof on it because the house had burnt and they was rebuilding it. They were sitting in the back room, and whatever it was, it jumped up, and its fingers were long gray fingers over the side of the wall, and it pulled its head up and looked over, and they said it didn't have no bottom jaw, real big eyes, and real pointed ears, and it looked in the bedroom at him. And my buddy that I knew getting older, that my dad's friend was there, he never went back. He said, I don't know what that was. I said, I have no idea what that was. But he said, whenever it smiled at him, all he could see was the top teeth, and the gums went, the lips went back, and it had top teeth, no bottom jaw, big eyes, and pointed ears, but it didn't have the long nose.
I don't think I've ever heard of any creatures, and I've heard of a lot of stories on the last couple of years because I've been listening to all kinds of different stories of encounters with different kinds of supernatural monsters, and I've never heard of anything like that. I mean, seriously, that's right out of a damn horror movie.
Right. Good night, Sharon. Thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate you. We're fixing to call it.
Nice, Sharon.
I get to talking about grannies. There's just so much to talk about down there. I mean, so much more. But
Ready for your?
It'll be in the book.
I'm ready for your book to come out. You've been talking about that for what, 2 years now?
Yeah. Don't you worry about buying the book, Randy. The moderators are going to get a free one, so don't worry about that. But yeah, I'll even autograph them for you. How's that?
Well, be sure you do it before you get 8. I mean, before your next boots on
That's the goal. I got to get Mom on it. I'm having her help me do it from when she was a kid too. Some of the things that they experienced,
Your mom don't need to go sit in the car. That would be probably.
No. I mean, write the book. She's helping me. I'm trying to figure out, am I going to do 1 book or 2 books? Should I do a book of everything I experienced with me and my cousins and then let Mom do a book about everything they experienced? Or should I do them together?
I'd say pray about it. Let God guide you on that.
Sharon, or is that Sharon? Yeah, or Dana. If I drew it, you wouldn't even be able to tell what it was. I can't even draw a circle.
But maybe you could get somebody with your contacts who could do, like, you've got those people who, like, they see a crime and they have a description of a witness and somebody to draw a sketch. Do you have anybody that you know through your contacts that can do a sketch artist?
Not that would probably draw that.
Maybe in the future, you can come across somebody who can. You know what I'm talking
Kaylee,
about, right?
hey, Kaylee's a good drawer. She might be able to
Maybe
sketch something.
you give her the description of it, and you two work together and try to come up with a drawing.
Yeah, I might try to do that. And, I was thinking too, it might be better if I have Mom do a book maybe of what they all experienced, and then maybe I do a book of what we experienced, because I mean they had a lot. There was a lot of
You
stuff.
you could talk all night just on your encounters, and then
Right.
your mom could talk another day or two
Oh,
with
Mom could
everything.
sit here. Yeah, if we could get her on the show, I won't let her come on the show just because of the idiots that will attack women. I'd protect my mom. But if
I
if she would, but if
understand
she
that,
was to,
but
if she was to come on, oh my God, she could tell you all things that just blow your mind.
I'm sure there's got to be other people who's had or are having experiences, and they can't go to the church, they can't go to law enforcement, and they have no really source for help
Yeah, I mean,
because you can't
you're
tell your neighbors that you saw
you're. Well, they're
some
going to say you're
monster.
crazy.
Yeah,
Or you can't go see Uncle Randy no more. He's crazy.
yeah. He's lost his mind. He's seeing werewolves. He's crazy. I can remember somebody who was working in a particular field. I won't go into details, but they were they worked for the federal government, and their rank was somewhere like an 016. They had been there a long time, 20 plus years. And their philosophy was, if you believed in UFOs, you were crazy.
Right. Yeah. Well, Dana, I would let my mom come on the show, but unfortunately, I'm the child that will stand up for her publicly. Kaylee will stand up for Mom publicly. We both do it. But it's sad when other people set aside and allow things to be said about their mom and kids and know it's a lie and not stand up against it. And I'm a lot like my mom. I was raised that you stand up and you fight for what's right and you fight for the truth. And, I will say right now, that's my mom and I will defend her. I will not sit back and make excuses. She is my mom. And you know what? God made me a promise. God said, obey your mother and your father unto the Lord, and he will give you a long, blessed life. So remember that, people. Your mom is very, very, very important. And so important that God even gave us a promise in the Bible. If we respect our mothers and our fathers, that we will have a long, healthy life. That's how important it was to Jesus. And I'm telling you right now, I stand with my mom 220%.
Amen, brother.
I will do that every time. What does it say? I'll do it 7 days a week and twice on Sunday.
24/7, 365.
That's right. That's right. God, family, country.
Amen.
Jesse, would you like to start wrapping this up? And we will end this one. We've been almost 3 hours. It was a good one, though. This was a good one.
Yeah, 3 hours. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight, showing your support. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for each and every one of you. So thank you. God bless. Stay hydrated. Take care. We'll see you next time. Randy.
Good evening, Abnormal family. We'd like to thank you, each and every one of you, from the subscribers to just the people who showed up, from the moderators to Mike to Kaylee and Jesse and everyone else. We couldn't have a show without you. We appreciate you tuning in. and listening to our encounters and stories tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you. God bless you. God bless your families. And Mike, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
First of all, I'd like to start off with saying Jan Whitman is in the hospital. I received an email from her today. Jan, I didn't know what to say or what you wanted out there, but what I would like to say is for everybody to keep Jan in your prayers for a complete healing, and that the doctors are guided, and that the Jesus guides their hands and gives them the knowledge. And Jan, we're going to go ahead and claim your healing in Jesus' name. Amen. We claim that you are healed and you will be restored completely in Jesus' name. So everybody, please keep her
Amen.
in your prayers. Guys, I couldn't do this without you guys. I appreciate y'all being here. I know whenever we plan a night that you guys are going to be here to support me, and I really do appreciate that. We give you good, honest content. We have, I think, a good conversation tonight. I shared a lot of my history is growing up, and I wish Mom could do that, but unfortunately, she can't, and I wouldn't allow her to. Not with the way people are. I'm very protective of my family, my mom, and I know that these people have no line they won't cross. It's sad and it's pathetic, and we all just have to band together and not allow this kind of corruption in our community. It's going to take more than one channel to stop this. I mean, I think it's obvious what's going on. There was a post made today that was very obvious. It was made by a Stinky Maddie. And she, made the comment, I can't believe anybody's going on his show. They shouldn't go on his show because he's this, that, and this. Well, it dawned on me the reason they're doing this. They're doing it because all along they wanted to destroy my show because he wants to control everything. What he can't control, Josh wants to destroy. That's his goal. And I'm just not giving him any time. I mean, I'm just doing my thing. It's just sad that my mom can't come on because I know you all are missing out on a whole lot that she could share. And it's because of people like that do not allow safe places on channels that people can't come out and tell you what they've experienced. And that's what this community should be about, is a safe place for people. But some channels have made it a hostile place for people to share their encounters. And that goes against everything we should be doing. All right, guys, I'm going to call it tonight. I will see you all Saturday with Kaylee. And tomorrow night on OCST, guys, we will be there co-hosting with him. Should be a great show. Thank you all so very, very much for being here. Like I said, I can't thank you enough. Keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner. Good night. God bless. And go give your mom a hug if you're able to. And if you can, thank God you can, because there's a lot of people that can't. We'll see y'all on the next one. Good night.
Right.
Good night.